It's the Orioles on Bassett, and for the O's, they could not get home soon enough. The Boston Red Sox in town for the weekend series, the only weekend series the Orioles will have here at Camden Yards against the Red Sox this year. These are two teams trying to get it turned around. For the Orioles, they come home having lost 4 in a row. Red Sox, they have lost 2 in a row. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For both of these ball clubs, got to pick it up in the American League East. Remember, that's the first thing you're trying to win, is that Eastern Division crown. So we thought tonight we'd take a look at how the teams compare in the Eastern Division as far as runs they give up and runs they score. On the left side, you've got the ERA. Believe it or not, the Yankees of all teams, even though it's the first month, have the number 1 ERA in the division. Then the Rays, Red Sox, Blue Jays, and the Orioles ERA not only last in the division, but it is the highest ERA in Major League Baseball. On the other side, offensively, the Jays, as expected, putting up almost 6 runs a game. The Yankees better than expected. The Red Sox about where you thought they would be. The Orioles at 4.7, that should be enough. It's just that they've given up so many. And the Rays, as expected, are struggling at 3.7 runs per game. You see the American League averages on the bottom. So, Jim Palmer, that's the way it looks in the East, and the string against the East goes on for the Orioles.
Well, it does. I mean, the first 19 games are going to be played against Eastern divisions. When you look at those two numbers, the one thing I see, and the reason the Orioles won 96 games last year, they scored, 703 runs, only gave, 705 runs, gave up 593. So the run differential is actually, you're giving up more than you're scoring, and that's why the Yankees are doing so well. I mean, that's the bad news. The good news is you're only 16 games into the season. We all know one of the great strengths of the Orioles was their starting pitching. Buck Showalter has said it again and again and again. We need to be able to get our starters to go a little bit longer. Red Sox, John Farrell probably tell you the same thing. But at the end of the day, you have a guy, Miguel Gonzalez, pitching for the Orioles, who pitches well against the Red Sox, and he's capable of doing exactly what the Orioles need.
Well, were these two teams getting back together again? Obviously, it was just like the week the Orioles were in Boston for the Big 4 game set, and this is a matchup that we saw in that series of Porcello against Gonzalez.
Well, it is, and the only mistake was a first-inning mistake. Miguel's really pitched well this year. He's got 4 pitches. Porcello, of course, he got, they just extended his contract, $82.5 million. He gave up, $82.5 million, actually. But it's over 5 years. But what he did, he gave up, 8 runs and 12 hits, the most he's ever done. Miguel Gonzalez gave up the 3-run home run in the first to Hanley Ramirez and then settled down. So I think the key for him, in all the games he's had trouble with, he's had a couple of 30-pitch first innings. And now when your pitch count somewhere, it'll give you, about 100, 105. You don't want to be doing that. But again, the 4 pitches capable. And the one number the Red Sox, and we were talking about it before the game, Gary, is here's a team, they spent a lot of money to get better offensively. We know they're capable of doing that. They're hitting under 200 runners in scoring position. That is not going to last.
No, and they are struggling to put runs on the board. Will that continue? One of these teams has got to break out in this weekend 3-game set. We'll see which one it is going to be. Big House will be on hand for this ball game tonight, expecting big crowds all weekend long. Kind of ironic, it's the only weekend meeting these two teams will have here at Camden Yards. And the big question for the Orioles, and you've been there, starting pitching, can it get turned around?
I think it will. They were so good last year because they threw the ball over the plate. The one thing they did not do on this road trip, really the course of this year, throw enough strikes. So again, Miguel capable of doing that. Porcello, he's a strike thrower. He struggles. I'm going to go back to basics. He's telling everybody I'm going to throw a lot of sinker fastball. I'm not sure we'll have a quick game because the Red Sox take a lot of pitches. But these guys, I think both these starting pitchers know what they have to do tonight.
All right, we're ready to go. Great to have you with us. And on this Friday night, it's going to be a cool evening here at Camden Yards as the Red Sox and the Orioles get set to kick it off. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com and by your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Here at Camden Yards, it is a cool night here in Baltimore. Fortunately, the winds for the most part have died down, and looks like it's not going to be too bad. Beautiful night as far as those blue skies are concerned. Here's the starting lineup for the Red Sox tonight. They'll have Betts, Pedroia, and Ortiz, Ramirez, Napoli, and Sandoval, Navra, Holt, and Hannigan. For David Ortiz, since 14 against the O's, those are impressive numbers.
And Miguel Gonzalez for the Orioles tonight. There it is, nice mix. The breaking ball, curveball, and slider. That's about a third of the pitches he throws. A lot of fastballs, and then the changeup's a split finger. That's his strikeout pitch against the Yankees. Struck out 10 in 7 innings. Again, one of those years you can see right here, 17 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts. The one thing, he's averaging almost, 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, but the walks extremely high, as it was with most of the Orioles starters, 5 per 9 innings. But the one thing, and what we showed you, only the one home run, that was the Hanley Ramirez 3-run home run in his last start up in Fenway Park.
And Buck Showalter was very clear today of all the things he's concerned with. He said, number one, the walks by the pitchers. He said that can't happen. And that was the only thing, not that there aren't other matters he'd like to get corrected, but that's the one that's on his mind right now. That is just not acceptable as far as he's concerned, that the starters in particular have just got to cut down on the walks. Well, let's see how this one goes, as the Red Sox will come in after last night's ball game. They lost to the Rays 2-1, last game of that 3-game set that they played there against the Rays team. The Orioles, of course, coming back from a very tough road trip where they ended up going 2-5. Gonzalez ready. The pitch will be in there for a strike, and we are underway. Betts at the plate, a 1-for-11 against the Orioles in that 4-game set that was played in Boston. He is 2 for 8 with a home run lifetime off Gonzalez. And the 0-1 will be away for a ball.
Yeah, the best base runner. He will lead off. Boy, what a spring he had. You keep looking at the numbers, right around 400. And they maybe have pitched him a little bit. Very quick bat. We saw that last year when he came up. Boy, you try to get in on him. He hit a home run here. One of the quicker bats for a young player. And he's not very big, only 5'9". But again, 5 for 5 if he gets on. Does give you a lot of options if you're John Farrell as far as running the bases.
He'll take the walks if he can get them. He's been on 11 of the last 12 games. He's found a way to get on base. Gonzalez will just miss with that one, and the count will go to 3-1. And right away, Gonzalez sees the Red Sox strategy, which he is all too well aware of, and that's their ability to take pitches, especially at the top of this order. 3-1 delivery to Betts, and that'll be a base hit into center field. And as Jim says, that's what happens when it's 3-1.
Yep. Take a look at the defense. There really is no defense for that bullet up the middle. Diaz, Jones, and Young. That's the outfield for the Orioles. Machado, Cabrera, Navarro, major league for Ray. This will be his first game in the big leagues. Chris Davis at first, and then Caleb Joseph in his second year behind the plate.
And there is Navarro with Flaherty going on the DL. Called up today. Major league debut for him at second base. Here is Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia 3 for 14 lifetime off Gonzalez. Speed over there at first base. Orioles have not had a lot of early success in throwing out base stealers. So far, our opponents have stolen 10 out of 12 in opportunities against the Orioles. Joseph has thrown out 1 of 9. And Betts can run. He's 5 for 5, and he's got a pretty good lead.
Yeah, huge lead.
Gonzalez wisely will throw over and try and get him to cut that down a little bit.
Well, you go back to the last inning, the first inning that Miguel pitched up in Fenway. Brock Holt led off with a base hit, who could run a little bit, and then I think he was a little bit concerned about him. Didn't get the front shoulder closed. Eventually would throw the 3-run home run to Ramirez. The Orioles would make it a little bit easier as they scored 8 runs for him.
He increased the lead on that throw over. Those are a couple of tosses. That's not the best move Gonzalez has over to first base. Clearly Mookie Betts is wanting to get a read on him here. You can see the 100% efficiency rate so far. Betts isn't buying it, though. He keeps walking off about an extra quarter of a step each time Gonzalez is thrown over. 1-0 delivery on the way. Pedroia skies that one right at the plate. Talk about a silo shot. Good play and a little help from Davis, who had an angle where Caleb Joseph did not. 1 down.
Yeah, well, you got a healthy Pedroia, and then he's trying to already 4 home runs. And we talked about the offensive woes, even though they're almost at 5 runs a game. Check out the second one, and that's probably the most important. They're getting on when they do get on. For this team to be hitting 196, that's probably an aberration. Won't be lasting very long. And David Ortiz, who steps to the plate under 200 with the batting average, as is Mike Napolo, who's also in this lineup.
Ortiz has not had a hit against Gonzalez. He is 0 for 7. Designated hitter stands in. The shift is put on. Even a bigger lead at first for Betts. Man, that's one of the biggest leads I think I've ever seen a runner get.
Well, it might almost be a one-way lead where you get out there and then you're kind of leaning back, because I don't think that you want to get picked off with David Ortiz at the plate.
John Farrell probably would not be real happy if that happened. Betts has just been challenging Ortiz to throw over. 0-1 count. Ortiz rips it. It's got distance and legs here, but it's going to curve, and it will be foul to the back of the bleacher section down there in the right field line.
Well, 5 home runs in the last 70 at bats against the Orioles, and those are the total numbers. I mean, that's a pretty. It's one. Well, obviously, about 60 games more than a year. It's a nice little year going.
He loves hitting against the Orioles, of course. Big career numbers. Lots of home runs against the Orioles. 4 Ortiz, 43 of them. 0-2 the count. Betts not going, and the pitch will be taken away for a ball. Here in this ballpark, David Ortiz lifetime is 259. He's had 22 career home runs here at Camden Yards. This is the 106th game that he has played in this ballpark, far and away more than anybody else on the Red Sox. 1-2. Step off again. Gonzalez not showing him his best move here. Getting him back to the bag, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Well, there is his power zone, and you can see it's. I mean, it's pretty much up in the zone, even though, to me, that's kind of middleitis. And this count allows Miguel, whose really best strikeout pitch is the splitter, to maybe use that pitch right here.
1-2 delivery on the way. That one inside out left field. De Aza, he'll put it away. Ortiz is retired, so he's 0 for 8 against Gonzalez. Becomes the second out of the inning, and Betts goes back to first base.
Well, Gary, the one thing I noticed when you're watching the Toronto series and they can flat out hit is that the Oriole pitchers with movement, or they would make pitches with good late life. Brad Brock yesterday right there to Ortiz. That was a splitter up a little bit, but the change of speed and the movement of that splitter, that keeps it off the good part of the bat, and that's what you try to do. And of course, when Ramirez hit the home run, I think it was a 2-1 count, and he hit a rocket over the Green Monster in Boston. 2
down. Ramirez goes after it right to third. Manny Machado gets spun around on it, and it's an out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Ball tagged. Machado knows you'd play that one on the side. And as I said, the wind blowing a bit out to left field to start the ball game. Take a look at the O's starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now, southwest.com. De Aza, Machado, and Paredes, Jones, Davis, and Young. Navarro, Major League debut. Joseph and Cabrera for Manny. Last night against Toronto, 2 for 4. Multi-homer ball game.
And Rick Porcello, only 26 years old. He's already won 77 games in his major league career. Again, sinker baller, also has a four-seam fastball, curveball, slider, and then you can see 11% of his changeups. Of course, the Orioles batted him around in that Sunday game with the 8 runs, 12 hits. Said, I just need to get back and establish my sinking fastball.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Alejandro De Aza in the leadoff spot. The numbers for De Aza. He is 0 for 11 against the Red Sox on the season. In at third base, Sandoval. 0-1 delivery on the way. In that series in Boston, Sandoval played in against virtually everybody in the lineup, and I mean in, especially when you had De Aza and Cabrera, anybody who might possibly bunt. Sandoval, the third baseman, chose to take that away from the hitter. 1-1 delivery by Porcello will be fouled back. 1-2. In that game, Porcello, the 12 hits he gave up, that was equaling a career high in hits surrendered in that ball game in just 5 innings. He had a loss in the opening game against the Phillies. His win came against Washington, where he gave up 4 runs on 4 hits in 8 innings in his second start of the year. Outfield shaded to left and in. 1-2 delivery. De Aza will take it. He's gone on a called strike.
Yeah, Dana DeMuth, I thought that maybe he missed a high pitch. So from what I've seen, the second time I've seen him this year, he calls the high pitch. That's a curveball that I think maybe Alejandro thinks it might have gone around the plate. You could see not only, I think, Hannigan behind the plate, he just brought it down into the zone. And they get the call. And of course, a curveball is what, 78 miles per hour, gives the umpire and the catcher more of a chance to drag it back into the zone.
And here is Manny Machado. Manny with a multi-homer game last night now has a 3-game hit streak going. He is 4 for 12 lifetime against the Red Sox right-hander Porcello. 1-0 delivery to him, and that'll be taken for a strike. Well, Manny's ball game last night, the hope for Oriole fans and for him is there'll be more of this.
Well, he broke up the perfect game with a leadoff home run in the 6th off of Drew Hutchison, who threw a lot better last night than he did in the game against the Orioles here at Camden Yards. Velocity was up, breaking ball was sharp, and then he later on in the game hit another 3-run home run, both of them on fastballs, both of them inside middle of the plate.
Manny Machado has gone 7 for 17, 7 RBIs in his last 5 games. Good numbers. That's on the outside corner. He's spotting him. Boy, that was perfect pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, a little cut fastball. Away from the righties, into the lefties.
Porcello lifetime against the Orioles, 3 wins and 6 losses. He's won 1 and lost 3 in games that he has pitched here in this ballpark. This will be the 11th career start against the Orioles. 2-2 delivery on the way. Machado couldn't hold up. Didn't get a good cut at it. It was a strike. 2 Ks.
Yeah, for the Tigers last year, and you talk about the 3-6 record. What have you done for me lately? He was 2-0 with an ERA of under 2 runs a game. So take a look right here. Outside pitch, trying to hold the swing, couldn't. Once you get to 2 strikes, big advantage to the pitcher. If you stay out of the middle of the plate, you can get them to chase, and that's what Manny was forced to do.
The designated hitter, Jimmy Paredes, as he's been since called up, had a 3 for 4 against Porcello in that ballgame in Boston. Swing and a miss on that one. He's been really a tremendous help for this Orioles team, struggling with the injuries that they've gone through. 6 for 13 in the series against the Red Sox, coming off a 4-game hit streak. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that will just miss. Let's take a look at our Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to you by American Standard. Paredes on one side of it, the 6 for 13, 2 doubles against Boston. Mookie Betts, 2 for 12 against the Orioles. Celebrate the season with American Standard All-Star Event. You can visit midatlantic.com for amazing rebate financing opportunities.
You're seeing Rick Porcello a lot more aggressive with his fastball. 92 with good light. Because if you followed the Orioles, the 2-run home run, there is Juan Nieves, pitching coach for the Red Sox. But Paredes hit a pretty good pitch up and away off of Sanchez, left center field for a 2-run home run. I would say it's almost as off the corner a little bit. So again, I mean, Jimmy Paredes is a big guy. He's got long arms.
1-2 delivery is going to be in the dirt. They want to check at third. Nope. Chris Conroy. Dana Demuth, the crew chief, by the way, and he's got the plate tonight. Will Little's at first base. Toby Basher down at second, and Chris Conroy has third. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Outfield will shade a little bit towards left on Paredes, figuring him to take it the other way. 2-2 delivery on the way to him. Porcello will miss with it up high, so he goes full.
Yeah, don't think that Rick Porcello doesn't know that the leading hitter in the American League is on deck, who hit a 2-run home run against him in inning number 1 up in Fenway. So as hot as Paredes is hitting, a lot of times you just look and say, I got to throw him a strike here.
3-2 delivery on the way he did, and he strikes the side out. So 3 Ks for Porcello. We've completed our first inning of this series. No score. The numbers talk about a model of consistency. We are watching him tonight for the Orioles on the mound. The lowest ERA since July of 14.
And the lowest ERA of any of the starters last year. Did not get the run support. So therefore the wins at 10-9 last year. Very underrated. You know, Alex Cobb, maybe you could say healthy, and Sale throws 96. Felix Hernandez, they call him the king, so you know he's going to be on the list. But to me, Miguel Gonzalez, one of the more underrated guys, because he can get you out 4 different ways, and not too many pitchers can say that.
Gonzalez is going to face Napoli, Sandoval, and Nava due up here in the second inning. Napoli with a 2-for-10 lifetime off. Gonzalez trying to get the bat going for the Red Sox, and he will take the pitch outside for a ball. He's had hits in 7 of the last 10. He'd gone through a streak of no hits through the first 5 games. He ended up going 0 for 17. 1-0 delivery on the way. He is one of those who takes a lot of pitches. Gonzalez gets it in. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Napoli will rarely go after a pitch until he has a strike on him.
Yeah, 4.47 last year. The year before led everybody in the big leagues at 4.58.
1-1 delivery to him. That's going to miss outside. Breaking ball.
And if you've done your homework, or even if you're a baseball fan, especially if you're an opposing pitcher, you know you're always one swing away from. He's such a good high ball hitter. Hang a breaking ball. Get into this count here at 2-1 out over the plate. where his strength is.
2-1 delivered, and he took the big swing at it, fouls it off the other way.
Probably wondering how he missed that pitch. Put movement pretty much right down the middle.
He had only a 2 for 13 in the series in Boston against the Orioles.
That power zone right there tells you want to stay on the corners against Mike Napoli. You can see power zone inside middle of the plate.
Only a .212 hitter lifetime against the Orioles. Does have 8 home runs. Puts that one up in the air to right field. See if this ball is going to carry tonight. Near the warning track wall. It kept going right up to that 373 mark. Good play by Delmon Young to haul it in, and Napoli's retired 1 down. Tomorrow night, the Orioles continue their 3-game weekend series against the Red Sox. Showdown comes at 7:05. Good seats remain, but won't last. Show you Birdland pride. Help paint the park orange. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com. Here is Sandoval. Sandoval makes an appearance here at Camden Yards for the first time. He's played against the Orioles before, but always in another yard. So even for players, sometimes you get to visit a ballpark and play in it. First time ever, and that's the case for Sandoval here tonight. Hitting .341 against right-handers so far, 12th in the American League against right-handed pitchers. And a chopper that's going to go foul. He is a switch hitter.
Yep, he drops off a curveball, comes back with a splitter. Red Sox got themselves some pretty good hitters with Hanley Ramirez, 300 lifetime batting average with power. Sandoval at 294. Of course, you get Pedroia at 299. Ortiz at 285. Part of their lineup can flat out hit.
0-2 delivery on the way. Boy, did he tomahawk that, and he's going to get a base hit out of it. So Sandoval is on. Second hit for the Red Sox. He went upstairs and just pokes that the other way as Piazza was fairly deep in left field.
Now check this out. I mean, just trying to go up the ladder, and he just fights it off. And I've seen him late at night. You get home when he was playing for the Giants. He can hit that pitch out of the ballpark. This time he dumps it softly into left field. One of the notorious bad ball hitters in baseball.
Thou shalt not let one pass, wherever it may be located. And here is Daniel Nava. Nava had an 0 for 6 against the Orioles in the series up there. They put the full shift on against him, and he will take the pitch for a strike. He's only had 2 hits in his last 18 at bats, and he has struck out 7 times. He's in a bit of a funk coming into this series.
No, that's why it was important last night that Sandoval got his first extra base hits in 56 at bats, and then got to third base with 1 out, and Nava got him in for the only run down in Tampa.
0-1 count. Sandoval not going anywhere at first base. And that'll be foul back. Pulled his hands in a little bit on a good pitch, and the count will go to 0-2.
Well, that's what Miguel Gonzalez does. He can get you. Talked about he can get you out 4 different ways. Against Sandoval, we saw the curveball, we saw the splitter. He's got a slider right there, pinpoint control. And Nava, not that he can't hit with 2 strikes, but boy, when he came up, he was one of the best Red Sox at working the count into his favor and then becoming a very aggressive hitter on his terms.
Nava's always done damage against the Orioles, particularly with the long ball. 0-2 count. Sandoval at first with 1 down. Gonzalez off speed delivery that's going to break inside for a ball. Good pitch though, and it goes to 1-2. You got him to take a look at it. See Caleb Joseph looking over. Dave Wallace, pitching coach, relays the signs regarding throw over to first base, step off, hold the ball, whatever. With Sandoval, there aren't many signs to give except get the hitter. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Outfield pretty deep. And the pitch will be foul back, and will hold the count at 1-2. For Daniel Nava, .298 career average against the Orioles, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs against the O's. The American League East coming into today's play, the Red Sox tied for first, 9 wins, 7 losses. The Orioles, the reverse record, they're 7-9, but they're only 2 games behind the leaders. We were talking about that before the game. That may very well be the case in the American League East for much of the year. 1-2. And that one's going to be fouled off. Joseph took a piece of that one. And the home plate umpire may have too. Dana DeMuth.
Yeah, another again a just stay alive swing. Watch him stay inside the ball. Ball's inside really quarter of the plate, and then off of Caleb's maybe left shoulder.
1 ball, 2 strike count on Nava. Nava battling here. Here you see the breakdown early on for Gonzalez. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him, and the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the start against the Red Sox last outing, 3 runs, 5 hits, 5 innings. He struck out 5, walked 4 in that game. We talked about the walks by Oriole pitchers, which is almost double from what it was last year. They averaged 2.9 per 9 innings. The Orioles staff last year, it's up to 4.4 this year. And he just protects on that one. Wasn't sure if it was a strike, fouls it off on the reach.
Well, you got to love this approach by Daniel Nava. So there's last year and this year, where Chen walked 35 in 170 innings last year. Bud Norris much more aggressive. Bad news is the walks on the right side. The good news is you're 16 games into the season. And you know, the one thing about Buck Showalter, he's an eternal optimist. He said they're certainly capable of being better, and they need to get better.
Yep.
It's kind of the realistic approach. I mean, hey, otherwise we're in trouble. Big trouble.
That's right. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that ball is ripped in the air to the gap. Jones going over. He'll get there and he'll haul it in. Runner halfway. Sandoval back to the bag. Nava is retired, 2 down.
Yeah, it looked like Jonesy didn't really see it that well, and the ball did not hit that hard, but then he runs it down easily.
So 2 away. That'll bring up Holt. Bogart's not in the ball game tonight. Not a good matchup against Gonzalez, and Bogarts has only had 1 hit in his last 15 at bats, so he's out. He'll be back in tomorrow. And Holt gets the work at short in this game. Had a 4 for 11 against the Orioles in Boston. Sandoval at first base, 2 down. Inside for a ball, Manny Machado. The cut of the old grass down there at third base, just in case, because Holt's got some pretty good speed. "30 years old, 32 wins, 22 losses for Gonzalez. 1-0 delivery on the way to him. Good pitch at the knees for a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, if you want to define Miguel Gonzalez, is that he can pitch. You know, doesn't have a power arm, but he just has a sense of pitching.
He's done well here in this ballpark. It's a yard he likes pitching in. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. That'll be fouled off outside of first base.
Well, he's done well against the Red Sox, going 5-1 with a 2.89 ERA. Here, ERA up a little higher, but still winning record, 2-1.
Sandoval, long stay over there at first base, and Gonzalez trying to make it longer. Here at Camden Yards for Gonzalez, he's 15-9 with a 3.41 ERA in his career. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Holt will look at it upstairs and takes it. So a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Red Sox hitters, the fact they take so many pitches, a sign they're not going to be a lot of help to the pitchers who are trying to get them to chase stuff out of the strike zone. Sandoval an exception. That one down the middle, back up the middle, and that's the inning. Gonzalez gets it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Jones, Davis, and Young will be due up when we come back. contestant of the game, Douglas Krolak from District Heights. You've won $500 for being selected. You win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit. Play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs. Win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. No score as we go to the second inning here at Camden Yards. Orioles homestand here with the wrap-up of the initial first month against the American League East, and the White Sox will be coming into play here at Camden Yards. Another team that has struggled far more than anybody anticipated. Baseball gods doing what they usually do. The Mets are in first place with one of the great winning streaks of all time. Expected to be in last place with the Phillies all year. The White Sox were expected to be in first place all year in the division, and they're struggling.
Yeah, trying to keep up with the feisty Kansas City Royals.
Oh, Lord.
Fisticuffs.
Here is Adam Jones, who will take it outside for a ball.
A little bit out of control on that Kansas City ball club.
Yeah. They are hyperactive. Adam Jones, big series against the Red Sox. He will pop that one up third base. Nope. Going to come back by the screen and out of play. Take a look at our Express stat by Express Care, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitinther.com.
It's a nice little start. I guess down that list, I still remember when Robbie Alomar came over, he had 79 hits his first 2 months with the Orioles, so maybe not over the 16 games, but certainly 40, I think, the first month, 39 the second.
Adam leading the majors as far as the average is concerned. That 424 mark, second in the American League, 16 RBIs. Porcello's delivery will miss outside to him. Adam is 7 for 28 lifetime with a home run off Porcello. And he has just been tagging it, stinging the baseball. 2-1 delivery by Porcello, and that's going to miss.
Well, 9, 12, and 4. That's the directions of his hits. So you can see, he's pulled 9 of them back up the middle to the opposite field. He had some rockets in Toronto, got a little bit of bad luck. You pitch him away, he's willing to go there, and he's got power to right field.
3-1. It takes a strike. He thought he had a walk. He'll come back.
Yeah,
the other thing we've seen, reason for the numbers in part, Jim, is that he's far more patient.
Yeah. He was saying, I said, how old are you going to be? He said 29. He said you got to get better. You got to use all those bats as an experience.
3-2, and the off-speed breaking ball will get him.
Well, Gary, I mean that's a Cooperstown pitch right there.
Now he's got to be careful here. He had a little discussion with Dana DeMuth, home plate umpire, who turned to him a couple of times.
Well, Adams not trying to walk, but he thought the 3-1 pitch was low, and then look at this pitch. I mean, it's about as good as you could throw a curveball. And because of the 3-1 pitch being called, he was just saying, boy, and then he'd just keep walking. He said it was low. And
so everything's been a strikeout for the first 4 of the Orioles to the plate. That'll bring Davis up. Chris, 4 for 15, a homer, a couple of RBIs in the series at Boston. 2 home runs on the year, 7 driven in. Shift put on against him with Pedroia moving out into shallow right field. 0-1 delivery to Chris, and that will be inside for a ball. Chris has had hits in 6 of the last 7 against Boston. Good numbers, as we said, against Porcello with the 3 home runs that he's hit. 6 for 21. Had one to drive and couldn't get it.
Well, that's really the difference. 56 at bats, 26 strikeouts, obviously higher than he'd like. Even the years 33 home runs, 53 home runs, he'll strike out maybe a third of the time. But when you get up to that percentage, but that's the pitch. That's a line drive, double home run out over the plate. And now they're going to come up and in.
And a breaking ball. It's going to miss.
That's what Hutchison was able to do last night. He was just able to get ahead. He had real good stuff. Also good breaking ball. Able to get 93, 94 miles per hour up and in, and then bury the breaking ball in the dirt.
Orioles come in ranked first in home runs. The Red Sox are 6th, but The Red Sox have outscored the Orioles. They are 5th. The Orioles are 7th in runs scored. And Davis, how about this? 5 in a row strikeouts for Porcello. No, the Orioles not touching it up out there against Rick Porcello.
Well, he had 11 back in May of 2013 against the Pirates. So let's see. Curveball to strike out Adam Jones. Change up right there. Using them all. And
he struck out 6 against the Orioles in that start in Boston last week. Pitch will be taken away. Here is Delman Young. Delman, 321 average, couple of RBIs. He's had 1 home run lifetime off Porcello, who will miss outside, and a 2-0 count.
Did you play Little League, Gary?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Did you ever have a guy like Timmy English in Beverly Hills Little League that struck out everybody?
Yes.
And you had a bunt?
His name was Susie. Here's the 2-0 delivery on the way, and that ball is going to be stung. Center fielder over, and we'll haul it in. Betts got it. He was really good.
You're just hoping you can make contact.
He went on to pitch in the majors, actually. I know he threw a baseball. I never saw it. Casino inside the numbers. We've talked about the plate discipline. Here are the numbers.
Well, that's why it's so hard to pitch against the Red Sox. And I think the one number we showed you a little bit earlier, the 196 with runners in scoring position. The league average last year was 251. So if you gave all these things right here, the way they take pitches, the way they hit on their terms until they get to 2 strikes, the way they work the count, and even if you got up to the average of 251. They're at what, at almost 5 runs a game. It would be probably about 6.5 runs a game.
Here's Hannigan, their catcher, hitting 9th for the Red Sox. Hannigan went 2 for 3, including a home run against the Orioles in Boston.
Yeah, it was a 2-run home run that tied the ball game. That was that Friday night game that Ubaldo Jimenez got thrown out. He hit it off of Gosman. 2-strike, a changeup down and in, golfed it over the monster.
0-1 to first. Davis right there, soft liner. And 1 away here in the 3rd inning. Well, not too late to upgrade your summer with the Orioles partial season plan. Season plan members have ticket savings, baseball's most flexible exchange policy, access to postseason tickets, and orange carpet benefits. 13 game plans are still available. For complete details, go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Regarding those numbers, the Red Sox, it also shows up they've left more runners on base than any other team in the American League. The Orioles are 6th in that department. When the Orioles have gotten them on, they've done a good job of getting them home. As the Orioles are hitting .275 with runners in scoring position, which is 4th in the American League. Here's Betts, who had a single, got stranded in the 1st inning. Betts to be followed by Pedroia as the Red Sox bat in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, struggling for runs, you get your leadoff guy with speed, as you mentioned, 5 out of 5. And they couldn't advance him.
Good pitch in there for a strike. Interesting story out of baseball tonight. T.R. Sullivan of MLB.com reporting that Josh Hamilton is going to be traded to Texas, back to Texas, and that the announcement will be made on Monday. Wow. 2-1 delivery on the way, and did it hit him? Yes, it did.
Yeah, I mean, Buck's going, wait a minute. He didn't try to get out of the way. If anything, he tried to get his arm in the way, not on purpose, but he did. The next thing you know, he's down on first.
So runner on at first here. It's still talking about it. Looking down to first base, DeMuth was asking for help from Will Little, first base umpire. And it stays as a hit batter, the first by Gonzalez this year.
It didn't appear that he made any effort to get out of the way. If anything, he encouraged getting the arms in the way.
And here's Pedroia, popped out his first time up, 2 for 11 against the Orioles on the year. Pedroia, another big lead at first by Betts, just as he did the first time.
Oh, take a look right here, 2-1 pitch. So he's protecting. Yeah, that ball maybe a little more inside than I thought. I'm not sure he tried to get hit, but he did.
Davis holding the bag on him. Pedroia popped out first time up. Take a breaking ball. That one fooled him. He was leaning away, and it was a strike.
Well, he's healthy, and I mean, we're talking about a guy that won the MVP, and thumb injuries to leading hand, and then left wrist and thumb, and power numbers down. I was looking at the number. Apparently, on inside fastballs, hitting about 210 points higher than he did at any point last year. So it's early.
0-1 up high. On that Texas deal with Josh Hamilton, we understand Texas is only going to pick up $15 million reportedly.
Of the entire
of the
$93 million that they owe?
So they're going to have to pay about
Well, it was pretty
million.
clear the way Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, said that, we thought he violated the agreement between the players and the owners. There's another pop.
Popped that one up third base side. Manny Machado. He's there and he's got it. And there are 2 down. Betts will go back to first base.
Yeah, it was pretty apparent that they didn't really want him to come back. And for Josh, of course, he's on the disabled list, has had shoulder surgery. And the Rangers, his best years were when he was in Texas.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah.
2 down. David Ortiz. Ortiz flied out to left field. 2 down with Betts on at first base. Orioles go into the shift against him.
Yeah, just after missing a home run, hooked it just inside the foul pole.
And the pitch to him, taken for a strike. Now 0 for 8. Lifetime off Gonzalez. DH numbers, he holds about every record for a designated hitter this season. Obviously, numbers are way down, hitting just below 190 for an average. And the ball will be fouled back. Ortiz has had 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. He has drawn 10 walks, struck out 13 times in the 53 at bats that he's had on the year.
Well, 8 seasons with 30 home runs or more, or 100 RBIs or more, makes you throw it over. You love to get into these counts. We still have to stay out of the middle of the plate. Want to get ahead of him, otherwise, boy, that strike zone is a little rectangle wherever he wants it to be. That's how disciplined he can be. I was talking to John Russell, Orioles bench coach, who actually managed him in A-ball. And I said, John, could you tell Ortiz was a good player? He said, hitting was never a problem.
Where are you going to play him? First base defensively.
And that's where he played. Yeah, that's where he played. He said he was all right at first.
Runner goes. Ball hit the other way again, and that's going to fall in base hit. Nobody covering third. Not that there would have been a play there. Gonzalez going over again. We've seen that so often with the shift this year. With the shift on and a base hit like that, third base ends up empty.
Well, this is another reason. Terry Crowley, when he was a hitting instructor, he actually had David Ortiz in Minnesota, and I said, tell me about David. He said, well, he's got tremendous bat speed. He can hit the ball to all fields. We just saw that. He has incredible knowledge of the strike zone. And that was pretty wonderful at bat right there with 2 strikes. Subjugate your ego, kind of serve it into left field for a base hit, keep the inning alive.
So the chance for the Red Sox comes here in the third inning with 2 down, first and third, and it will bring Ramirez to the plate. Hanley Ramirez lined out hard, perhaps has hit the hardest ball of the ball game to third base to Manny Machado. First and third, 2 away.
Well, they got a new hitting instructor in Boston, Chili Davis, who was with Oakland.
Inside doing.
Who was a terrific player, and he said Hanley Ramirez hits the ball so hard that over the course of this season, one of the infielders in the MLB is going to get hurt. And that's how hard he hit it the first time. You talked about it. It was kind of like laying it.
He spun it on the side. Manny did. 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position for Ramirez. And here again, this is where the Red Sox have struggled. That ball's going to be caught. Adam Jones going over. He's got it. And that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. No score going to the bottom of the third. Tonight's ball game brought to you by Miller Lite. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you. Good house on hand, and so far it has been about Gonzalez and Porcello as we go to the bottom of the third inning, and a major league debut. His name is Ray Navarro, and in the minors you see the numbers he has put up, and a lot of minor league games played, over 880 minor league games played before he gets his first chance at the majors. And a pretty good season last year, playing at AAA this year. Porcello's pitched to him, and the pitch is a strike.
Yeah, AA, AAA last year had really good numbers. Showalter, Oriole managers pregame said hit a long home run into the win last night. That's the way Porcello's pitching. You're just trying to make contact. 7th batter, 5 of them struck out. Only Delman Young, who hit it well into right center, and Mookie Betts, who can absolutely fly in center field, ran it down.
Navarro's 25 years old. 1-1 delivery to him. Breaking ball is in there for a strike. Ryan Flaherty going on the DL. Thus the Orioles had to make a call. Jason Nix might have appeared to be the player that the Orioles would bring up, but he is not playing right now. He's out, injured for a couple of days, and the first at bat will go as another K, the 6th in the game for Porcello.
Well, that's as many as he had in 5 innings, and he starts at two-seamer right at his hip, gives up on it, and runs back. Welcome to the big leagues right here, and you can see plenty of the plate. Great life on his two-seam fastball. In fact, everything's working tonight so far for Porcello.
So he equals high he's had this season with the 6 Ks. We're only in the 3rd inning. Here's Caleb Joseph. Joseph 3 for 8, a home run, couple of RBIs against the Red Sox in that series in Boston. He is 1 for 1 in the only time he has faced Porcello. Oriole catcher waiting on it, goes after one upstairs, 1-1.
Now for Caleb, who came to spring training after really struggling the last month offensively. Did a great job defensively in his first year in the big leagues. He has used the middle of the field about as well as anybody.
1-1 to him, taken away, and that's not an accident with the work he's done with Scott Coolbaugh, driving the ball up the middle.
Yeah, we have seen the difference with Jonathan Scope, who is on the disabled list with the knee problems. Ryan Flaherty, all of these young hitters, a little different approach.
2-1 delivery to him. That one down the line. He got around on it. It'll be a foul ball, 300 plus away.
So you get a little. I think that might have been a changeup. So again, if your approach is back up the middle, you trust your hands. You stay on the ball, and if then they speed it up with a breaking ball like that, boy, you're all over it.
He's hit safely in 7 out of the last 8 that he has played in. That's a 423 clip over that span of games. Real good numbers for Caleb Joseph, who always hit well in the minors, but had struggled here at the major league level. Porcello will miss a little bit outside, and the count will go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. With Cabrera waiting on deck. Orioles, during this 4-game losing streak they're in, have been outscored 31-15. They're looking to get that turned around, and there's the first walk. Surrendered, comes with 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. Our PNC minor league report. Sebastian Bader, not related to anyone in Star Wars.
If I wanted to know, I'd just ask my stepson Spencer. If he was a character, he not only would tell me who it is, he'd do the impression of what he sounded like. So anyway, so yeah, anytime you get young pitchers, you want them to pitch well. You want them to throw some strikes. Look at that, 2 walks in 13 innings.
That will attract the manager's attention at the big league level in a hurry. Pitch taken for a strike by Cabrera. Cabrera, the switch hitter, with a runner on at first base and 1 down, no score here in the 3rd. Cabrera batting left-handed, 11 for 39. The other way, 1 for 13. Porcello, pitch will be outside. Sandoval in at third base again to take the bunt away from a speedy Cabrera.
So 41 pitches, 19 for balls, 22 for strikes, and he struck out 6 of the 8 batters he's faced. But the stuff has been outstanding. And when he gets to 2 strikes, you know, the pitch counts maybe a little bit higher. Very, very good pitch selection and great movement.
Got that one in there to 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cabrera, 2 for his last 14 times to the plate. Cabrera had a great start to the season. Start that had to cool off a little bit, and has. Not a big lead for Joseph at first base. 1-2 delivery on the way to him, and that'll be inside, and somehow Hannigan stops that.
Well, that wasn't a 2-seamer. That's a 4-seamer, a little bit extra velocity. He's sitting away, and he has to dive back to his right to keep this ball from going back. Look at this. I mean, that ball is inside. And if you're Dana DeMuth, you almost got it right off the right shin.
Could pull a hammy as
saved
a catcher
by the goalie.
Holy, what a stretch. 2-2. Watch him set up here, see where he wants it. And headed to the mitt and fouled away by Cabrera.
So you're seeing 2 different fastballs. That one at 92, that's the 4-seamer, and then the one he threw out, he struck out to Ray Navarro, that was 89, but a lot more movement because he holds it with the seams. You get different type of life on your fastball, but both can be very effective.
Two ball, 2 strike count. That one hit hard. Pedroia gobbles it up. There's 1. And Holt over to first base. A real fine play by Dustin Pedroia to handle that cleanly. So only 3 up, and Porcello's faced only the minimum 9 through the first 3 innings. We go to the 4th in a scoreless ball game. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By your Baltimore BMW Centers. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Game 2 of this series will be played tomorrow night. It'll be Wei Chen 0-1 against Justin Masterson, who is 2-0. 6:30 O's extra, 7 o'clock the ball game. Sunday afternoon game, Bud Norris 0-2 against Wade Miley, who is 1-1. 1 o'clock O's extra and 1:30 for the game on Sunday. Here, no score. We go to the 4th inning. 0-3-0 for the Red Sox. Zeros on the board for the Orioles. Napoli leads it off, takes it for his strike. Napoli flied to right his first time up.
Body language, he thought that was a ball. The one thing about Dana DeMuth, he does not call balls off the corner, but over the plate, very liberal for pitchers.
Ground ball to the middle, cut off. Plenty of time. Nice play made by Cabrera.
Yeah, we've seen Cabrera merely make some nice plays. Strong arm, good range. And of course, anytime you lose a 3-time Gold Glover with home run power, J.J. Hardy, you'll want him back. Cabrera, I mean, he makes his play look pretty easy. And then the accurate throw.
J.J. Hardy is not in a rehab setting yet. He's working out. But Buck Showalter said until he has 2 days in a row where he can take ground balls and throw, he's not going to play in any rehab games. The As are going over. He's got a lot of room there. Puts it away. Sandoval, 1 pitch and an out, 2 down.
Well, we certainly gets healthy, and I guess he took 75 swings yesterday, so we'll see if he did it again today, and then maybe he will go out on rehab. Well, that Sandoval, one of the reasons they signed Pablo and gave him a ton of money is because he's a good defender and he played on 3 World Championships. Is that ball he just hit? That's kind of the way they expect him to hit in Fenway Park. Here it's just a can of corn. Boston is probably a double.
It's an interesting discussion. I wish we had that one, Mike. That's about that fly ball you just saw. Because Diaz had a long way to go. He was playing the other way on Sandoval, batting left-handed.
And if he slices the ball, it's also going away from him. And I think maybe Buck's saying, well, maybe if we played a little bit more conventionally, the ball is going to come back to him to his left. In other words, up in the gap. And otherwise, that ball has a good chance of slicing away from him.
And Kirby takes care of the outfielders. The Orioles' first base coach. That's who Buck was talking to there. 2 down, nobody on. Here's Nava. Nava flied out first time up. He'll shoot one the other way, and that's going to be into the seats on a hop.
Well, you're seeing a very efficient Miguel Gonzalez. Even we mentioned against the team that works the count as well or better than any team in the American League. And just the one thing he would like, and you don't often get, is run support. Porcello's been that good.
0-2 the count. Shift on in full against Nava in the infield. The outfield shaded the other way. 0-2 delivery on the way, and he'll foul that one away. Nava's a .298 lifetime hitter against the Orioles. Coming into this ball game, he's hit .324 in the last 10 games that he's played here at Camden Yards. Orioles, of course, won the series against the Red Sox last year. They are knotted up, having split the 4-game series in Boston. Orioles went 11-8 against the Red Sox last season. 2-strike count, 2 down. Gonzalez will miss with that one down low that trickles away, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Way out there in right field, the Orioles on this shift. Wind has all but died down here tonight, making it a not unpleasant evening. 59 degrees temperature when we started tonight. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and a chopper foul the other way.
Boy, is he having some nice at bats. Even the probably had about an 8-pitch at bat the first time, and hit one in the gap that Adam Jones ran down in center field. And there as his hitting instructor. Boy, did great player in his own right, switch hitter, one of the better switch hitters. Some of those really good Twins team. He was with Oakland the last couple of years.
1-2 delivery on the way. That'll be popped up third base side. Pitcher may have to handle this. He does.
There you go.
There was no place to go there as the Orioles had the shift on, so Cabrera couldn't get there in time. Coming over to make the play defensively, Gonzalez to help himself out. It is just about time for a platter full with a little vinegar. Sarasota, Florida, spring home of the Orioles, also a destination for culinary adventure. From their fresh local seafood to the eclectic array of world-class cuisine. Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week is coming June 1 through the 14th, celebrating its 10th year. You can learn more at savorsarasota.com. Here at Camden Yards, Orioles home looking to end their losing streak and hand the Red Sox their third loss in a row. No score in this one. Bottom half of the inning, top of the order. Porcello, minimum number, 9 batters faced through 3. He has walked 1 and struck out 6. De Aza, the strikeout victim, will take the pitch up high for a ball. Machado and then Paredes due up for the Orioles. Repeat after me. Sandoval in. And a towering pop-up. Right center field. Who wants it? Center fielder does. Betts comes over and puts it away. Everybody had time to get under it. 1 down. When the Orioles win, everyone wins. When the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. That'll bring Manny Machado up. He too a strikeout victim. First time up. Manny at 214. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. Winningest team in baseball, the Mets we were talking about earlier, with 13, won 11 in a row. In the American League, it's Kansas City. They've won 12 in a row, or 12 on the season, rather. Detroit right behind them, 1 game less in the win column. 2-0 count on Machado. Subway Series very early this year in New York. Yankees are playing at home against the Mets, and they're leading the Mets 6-0 in the 4th inning.
I think that was Jacob DeGrom pitching for the Mets, who's off to a great start until tonight. Well, the Yankees,
they're a surprise team.
Well, they really are, and even when they have not, they've been hurt, all kinds of injuries. One thing about Joe Girardi, well, there we go, an incoming.
Had the hand up though.
Yeah. There you go, Mr. Thorne.
What a catch.
So you were good at dodgeball in rainy days in Maine.
Get your hand up over your face and protect at all costs.
That was a heat-seeking Gary Thorne missile.
It was.
Yes. Got out of the way.
2-2 delivery will be taken inside. And a full count 3-2.
Where was I? Even in bad years, Joe Girardi managed to, when the Yankees have been outscored, giving up more runs than they scored, he's still been able to get them over 500.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of baseball. All the expectations at the beginning of the year, not to say they won't end up where the predictions were, but at least for the first month, there have been a lot of surprises. And the Yankees are certainly one of them. And A-Rod is one of the reasons.
Yes, we saw him hit, about a 430-foot home run. Again, you have Tanaka. Everybody was saying, people were saying, hey, he should go get the Tommy John. Now he's throwing 93. He's really pitched well, striking people out, pitching into the 7th inning, which starting pitchers would love to do.
3-ball, 2-strike delivery by Porcello, and that's going to be a base hit on the button. So the Orioles, Manny Machado gets the Orioles on the board. Take one of those goose eggs away and put a 1 up there under hits. Get in on the baseball action with Massett. You can text the word Orioles to 29292 for team alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes all season long, including meet and greets with your favorite players. Again, that's Orioles 29292 for Orioles alerts you can't miss.
So 2 nights in a row, Manny gets the first hit. Last night in the 6th. Of course, the score at that time I think was 7-0. Tonight, a 0-0 game.
Now Paredes up, 1 down. E2 struck out first time up. And Porcello's breaking ball to him inside. Understand Mike Teixeira has had 2 home runs already in that ball game for the Yankees against the Mets at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you get Teixeira back. He had 22 home runs last year and had some leg problems early, wrist problems the year before. You get A-Rod back, so your offense is going to be better. Beltran struggled, but Chris Young's come over from the Mets. Really pitched well. Good cutter right there from Porcello. A lot of positive things for New York. And then, end of the day, you're pitching well. You're scoring some runs. We showed you the best ERA in the American League to this point.
How surprising is that? I don't think anybody expected that either. 1 ball, 1 strikeout with 1 down. Kobe Ellsbury is also at a home run in that ball game, so the Yankees using the long ball against the Mets. 1-1, runner at first base is Machado, and he's running. Hit and run on, and that will be foul back.
Yeah, not your normal hit and run count right there. You can see Buck. Usually, I think Sparky Anderson, Hall of Fame late from Sparky out. It's a 2-1 count. You can bet the ranch who's going to be running. But right here, trying to stay out of the double play. Actually had a good swing. Tailing fastball off the corner. Just trying to open up some holes to get the infielders moving.
Brady's now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. We'll see whether or not Manny Machado will be moving again. Is not. Pitch is inside. The Orioles have grounded into more double plays than any other team in the American League, which is another reason why Buck Showalter will start some runners on the base paths, as Jim said, to stay out of those double plays.
And it's hard to do that, Gary, as you know, when you're behind in games and you're giving up a lot of runs, because you don't want to get anybody doubled up.
2-2 delivery on the way. Brady's taking some pretty healthy cuts here off Porcello, and it stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well pitched ball game so far by both. 59 pitches have been thrown by Porcello. This year, the left-handers so far hitting .256 off him. Right-handers .306. Those numbers are likely to become more towards one another as the season goes along. 2-2 count. Manny not moving at first. Ball hit in the air to right field. Hit deep way back. Hey, goodbye home run. Paredes has done it again. A 2 RBI homer, his second homer of the season, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead.
Gary, I'll tell you what, if you're out on the mound and you hear that sound, you're just hoping it hits the wall. You don't hear the sound of a baseball off a bat that often And that ball just screams out of Camden Yards. Unbelievable bat speed.
Talk about surprises. There's one for the Orioles. Jimmy Paredes. Injuries gave him an opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it. Douglas Krolak, our Maryland lottery contestant of the game. For you, that's worth $500. And the Orioles on top. And here's Adam Jones. And he'll go after one and follow back.
Oh, take a look. I mean, this ball just a rocket. Don't get hurt out there. You can see right down the middle, a great extension. Jimmy Paredes, a very big guy.
Paredes getting his second home run of the season. The Orioles leading the majors, 23 home runs. They came in tied for first home runs in the major leagues. Adam Jones will take the pitch away, and for Porcello, that's been an early problem. He has surrendered 6 home runs now, and this is 4th start. He gave up 18 all of last year. Paredes, a big smile. 1-1 delivery on the way. That'll go all the way to the backstop.
Well, he's a ground ball pitcher, and Rick Porcello, and we mentioned in the open they extended his contract. They got Miley, they got Masterson, who pitched very well against the Orioles on Marathon Day. They got Rick Porcello in a trade from the Tigers. He would be a free agent, but they extended the contract for over $82 million for 4 years.
2-1 count. Strikeout victim, first time up. Jones will take the pitch away, and the count will go to 3-1 on Adam.
And they always, I mean, Porcello's coming off arguably his best year, 15 wins, and everybody thinking, well, he'll be a better pitcher because of the defense, maybe a little bit better than the Tigers.
3-1 delivery. Jones lines it up the middle. So the Orioles, who came into the inning not having a hit, the last 3 have singled, homered, and singled, and all of them hit hard.
Well, a little cut fastball, you figure he's going to trick him, but if it ends up in the middle of the plate with the Adam Jones approach, I mean, he hits it right back up the middle. And this is the difference of Adam Jones. Might have overswung last year. You could see him let the ball travel. He stays on it. They can just hit the ball hard. And when Adam comes up to you and say, you know what, why not see 5 or 6 pitches per at bat and get myself out maybe on the first or the second, this kid may have one of those really special years.
First in slugging, first in on base percentage, first in average for Adam, and he's continued it. 1 for 2 so far in this one. Chris Davis, strikeout victim, shift on at double play depth. Porcello's delivery to him, big uppercut on a pitch down low for his strike. Chris with that dubious distinction of being at the top of the list in the strikeout department in the American League with 27 now. Adam LaRoche of the White Sox at 25. 0-1 delivery, and that one down to first, not quite in time. Just missed him on the inside pitch, and Hannigan thought he had Jones off the bag.
Yeah, I'm surprised that ball didn't hit him. And then because he moves away from it, I'm sure Adam probably didn't even see Hannigan make the throw, and trying to get the good secondary lead, and there's a snap throw, but back easily.
That pitch looked like it went right through him, didn't it?
It did.
It did. Kind of lost sight of it there in the jersey. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Runner goes. Pitch out, I think. Look to second. They get 1. Relay. Oh, they turn 2. Even with the runner going, and a pitch that looked like it was maybe going to be a pitch out. Adam was looking on the hit and run. There's the force play, and there's Holt making the relay over to first. And that'll do it in the inning. They get a couple of runs. Paredes delivers the home run with Machado on board, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Here at Camden Yards, Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, and for the Orioles, they've got the man on the mound. But right now they look to settle this thing down pitching-wise, and that's Miguel Gonzalez.
Well, I think what any starting pitcher wants to do is make his teammates think they have a chance to win, and obviously when your starting pitching is struggling, that's not the case. So Miguel trying to do what it's very difficult to do, beat a team like the Red Sox with a pretty good offense back-to-back, has yet to strike anybody out. Came in, 10 per 9 innings. But again, he hasn't walked anybody, and he's made some great pitches tonight.
And that has kept him efficient. The problem with strikeouts is that it does tend to push your pitch count up. If you can use your own defense to get some of those outs, saves a little bit on the arm. And he has done that so far in the ballgame. Brock Holt will take the pitch. It'll miss down low. And the count goes to 2-0. Holt batting 8th, and Hannigan and the leadoff batter Betts will be due up. 5th inning here at Camden Yards. Orioles 2-3-0. The Red Sox 0-3-0. And that pitch is there for a strike. Red Sox have left 4 on base. The Orioles have only haven't left anybody on base. The double play took Jones out in the 4th inning. And after a walk to Joseph in the 3rd inning, a double play took that runner out as well. 2-1 pitch by Gonzalez, inside out to left. There's in place. On Monday, the Orioles will host the White Sox. The 3-game series. Good seats still remain for each night, including Tuesday's Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats just $10 when purchased in advance. So get your Birdland summer started. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Hannigan lined out his first time up. Only a couple of hits in 20 at-bats lifetime against the Orioles for Ryan Hannigan. Way back in the batter's box against Gonzalez. And the pitch is there for a strike.
Yeah, pretty good back. Excuse me, Gary, and just poked it down over the right side. But boy, they are lucky to have him with Christian Vasquez going down with the Tommy John surgery. Veteran catcher. Going to be turned 35 over the course of the season. Good pitch framer.
Up the middle, off the mound, goes to second. Navarro's got it and makes the play. There's an assist to the mound to help slow that one down a little bit. 2 down.
They're trying to use the middle of the field, and that's where your defense is playing. But he gets in on his fist, so when you get up on the bat like that, well, it does not come off the bat with much authority. So easy play for Navarro, who can play all over the infield.
Major league debut, Ray Navarro. 2 down, nobody on. Top of the order, Betts. He's been on twice, hit by a pitch and singled. Stranded both times. Navarro's already had his first major league at bat, and that's going to be his first assist at the major league level on that ground ball. And all those things matter when it's your first major league game. And there he is. Being moved around, obviously, looking at Bobby Dickerson over there, and every hitter. 1-0 delivery on the way. That is in there for a strike. Navarro comes up having to be positioned. Bobby Dickerson, the Orioles third base coach, does that for the infielders. And he'll spend a lot of time looking out at second base tonight. 1-1 pitch on the way, and it'll miss. 2-1.
Yeah, the Orioles did on the way to 96 wins. Never lost more than 4 games in a row. So that's what they're trying to end tonight. That 4-game losing streak, and then of course Ray will call everybody down in Cogwas and say, "Boy, I'd turn this team around if they win tonight." Got them in the right direction.
Hey, take advantage of the opportunity. 2-1 delivery, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike as Betts works the count here in his favor.
He was like a meteor last year. 355 at Double-A Portland, then he went to Triple-A, hit 335, and then with over 200 at bats for the Red Sox, hit 291. Stole some bases, has some power.
3-1 delivery to him, a jam shot. He had no chance on. Foul tipped it into the mitt. Full count, 3-2.
So he's looking fastball. It's 3-1. He knows he's going to get a pitch to hit, and the ball starts on the inside third and just keeps running. So late life on your heater.
3-2, 2 down. And Betts will draw the first walk. surrendered by Gonzalez. It'll come with 2 away here in the 5th inning.
You got to be figuring he's going to, with this lead, be running at some point. You know, you talked about the fact that Caleb Joseph is behind the plate, only threw out 1 out of 10 runners. I talked to John Russell. I said, what's going on? He said, well, we don't really get to practice because not that many people run, but his time, as far as way he catches and releases, is under 2 seconds. So still doing the right things, and maybe the pitcher's not holding him as well as they can, even though Miguel Gonzalez has done a terrific job of doing that.
Gonzalez has thrown over all 3 times. Betts has been on.
There's John looking on.
Caleb Joseph getting the signs from him.
Well, the important thing here, Gary, with 2 outs, even though you got Ortiz on deck, you don't want Betts to distract you so much with a 2-0 lead that you get behind Pedroia and all of a sudden he becomes a home run hitter because of the count.
Pedroia has popped out twice. Runner not going. Breaking ball, which he started him out with on 2 of the 3 at bats, is in there for a strike and fooled him both times he did so. Dustin at just 246, 4 home runs and 9 RBIs for Pedroia. He's had a couple of hits now and 12 at bats against the Orioles this season. 0-1. Betts big lead as he's had each time on, and that one's going to be outside 101.
Yeah, the amazing thing when we talked about runners in scoring position number, Pedroia hitting second, Ortiz third, and Napoli, they're 3 for 44 with runners in scoring position. Mind-boggling numbers.
Yeah. Pedroia is not off to the hot start he usually has. 323, lifetime hitter against the Orioles. That'll go to the hole. Diving, nope, out of the reach. Cabrera reached, couldn't get it. Betts was off and running. He'll have to stop at second base, though. Pedroia gets a base hit. Now a key moment early in the game with 2 on and 2 down.
Well, this keeps the inning alive, and that's really what you want to do. Paredes hits a 2-run home run right here. You get behind him. You got to throw him a strike with Ortiz on deck. So again, the walk to Betts, and he earned it because he really had a good at bat, and then the base hit gets David Ortiz to the plate, which is exactly what the Red Sox want.
Orioles lead it by a score of 2-0. Ortiz has had a base hit and he has flied out to left field. 2 on and 2 down. The Orioles go into that deep shift against him. Gonzalez delivers to him. It'll miss inside. Ortiz 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position this year. This is a situation where Gonzalez over the past couple of years has been at his best this season. 2 for 13 against Gonzalez with runners in scoring position coming into this game. 1-0 delivery to Ortiz.
Wow.
Wanted the lead and fouls it back.
Yeah, well, there's the pitch to hit it. It'll be gritting the teeth. Going, how did I miss that pitch? Well, you're human. Not always, but you can hit balls like as far as you can. But that was a home run ball, and he fouled it off.
He's had 3 home runs in the last 2 games played here at Camden Yards, and he's homered in 5 of the last 11 in this ballpark. 1 ball, 1 strike count, and the pitch will be up high to him. 2-1.
And because of the tremendous strength, he's such a tough out. Until you get to 2 strikes, he's rarely going to expand the strike zone. Ideally, if you're pitching, you want him to swing at balls because that's what you can throw him. David Ortiz usually doesn't play that game.
10 walks, 13 strikeouts. 2-1 delivery on the way, and he got one up in the air to right field. It is back at the wall, looking up, and goodbye, home run. He's got another one. David Ortiz just enough to clear that 373 mark, and the Red Sox take a 3-2 lead.
Well, the table setters get on for Ortiz, and he clears the table. Splitter, it hangs up, and he just gets enough of it. Most home runs in the major leagues hit here at Camden Yards last year. Delman, Young trying to get up there, and then the fan up over the railing. It's probably what, about 2.5, 3 feet.
That is a home run if it lands on that roof top where the grounds crew sits. So the home run is the 4th of the year for Ortiz, and he gives the Red Sox the 3-2 lead. 8 RBIs on the season, all coming with 2 down. That one's out of here, way back in left field by Ramirez, and goodbye home run. Back-to-back home runs by the Red Sox off Gonzalez, and it's 4-2.
Well, where did his helmet go? Hanging slider.
Ramirez delivers.
Yeah, right down the middle of the plate, and there it is. Helmet falls off, and you could see him out on the end of the bat, but easily gets out of here at Camden Yards.
So Gonzalez, who had been cruising along, he had given up only 1 home run in his first 3 starts, has given up back-to-back home runs here in the 5th inning. First back-to-back shots for the Red Sox this year, and it's suddenly a 4-2 game. There were 2 down when Betts drew that big walk.
Yeah, it's so easy against a good hitting ball club. He walks Betts, he gets behind Pedroia, gets a base hit, gets behind Ortiz, hits a home run, and then hangs the slider. So just a series, and Miguel will be the first guy to tell you tomorrow, I should have been a little more aggressive to Betts, make him put the ball in play. Can't always do it, but that's your intentions. And then their power hitters, the guys that they depend on, do the job.
Ramirez has had a home run in each of the 2 games Gonzalez has pitched against the Red Sox this season. That's why they got him, and that's why they will keep him out in left field, even if sometimes it's not defensively pretty. He pays off at the plate.
Well, he's an infielder going to play left because they have Bogarts, and they could run out and spend over $90 million to get Sandoval.
Big swing on a fastball, that'll do it, but damage done. Has 4 runs score on 3 hits. Back-to-back homers, Ortiz and Ramirez. Wei-Yin Chen takes the mound against Justin Masterson. Our coverage on MASN 2 will begin at 6:30 with those extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN. Open up our Major League Notebook. Coming home page for the Orioles through 16 games. You see the Orioles last year 66 runs. This year they've scored more than last year, but it's those runs allowed. 84-65 coming into the ball game. In the first homestand they hit 309. They scored 35. 11 home runs. Trouble was ERA was 6, so they split those 6 games. At home last season, they had the 3rd best ERA in the American League, 3.22. Put in the air by Delman Young. Betts in center. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, Porcello, over the course of his career, always been well supported. It's not like he ever turned runs down. 5.41 runs for his career. That's a bunch of runs. So he gives up 2, and the Red Sox come storming back with 4 in the top of the 5th inning.
Ray Navarro, strikeout victim, his first time up. Porcello's 8 out of 15, throwing first pitch strike so far. And Navarro will take the pitch for a strike, making his major league debut. Being called up today. Ironic, Navarro started the season on the DL with a hamstring pull. Puts the ball in the air. They were playing him shallow. Long run. Ramirez can't get it. Heading to second base, Navarro, and that should be his first major league hit. A double that he got by the outfielders who moved in.
Yeah, you know, you play him. You play him so they won't hit it over your head. And then you have a guy that's not that mobile. He's an infielder playing left, as you mentioned, and a pretty routine play for an outfielder, but he's not an outfielder. He's a hitter playing the outfield, and the Orioles get what they need, base runners. Yeah, it looks like a changeup just stays up and elevates the ball, and that's what Ray Navarro does, and pretty catchable, but he doesn't catch it. And here's somebody learning to play the outfield. Not a real easy play, but not as difficult maybe as he made it look.
So now Caleb Joseph. Orioles get their 4th hit of the ball game. Joseph will drive it to center. Betts will go back. Runner will tag. Betts makes the catch. Navarro moves over to third, where he will stop, and there are 2 down.
Hey, you got to be real careful about tagging up, whether it's second or third, because that's part of the replay system. If they think you leave too early, they could always, I'm not saying that's the case here, but it's just something again, it's reviewable. He goes back and tags in case you do get a ball in the dirt. Maybe you pick up an extra run on a wild pitch, fastball.
Porcello's had 1 wild pitch, 1 hit batter this year. Here is Everth Cabrera. Cabrera hit into a double play his first time up. 3 for 16 against the Red Sox on the season. Sandoval, despite there being 2 down, will still move in at third. Take that bunt opportunity away. And a swing and a miss on Porcello's 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
I really think, I mean, it's a good play in the sense if you think somebody's going to bunt, the last thing you want if you're Rick Porcello is to have him lay one down because your third baseman's back. Now it does give you an advantage if you're Everth Cabrera to hit it by him. Just makes it easier. And he'll move back if they get to 2 strikes.
That pitch is taken up high, so the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Really, if you're an adept bunter, the drag bunt where you actually just bunt it, Napoli way back, Pedroia may be in a step because of the speed factor of Cabrera. That's where you bunt the ball and just beat the pitcher to the bag.
Outside, he's shown no inclination to bunt here in this situation, and the count goes to 2-1. This is the first chance the Orioles have had with a runner in scoring position. Paredes' home run came with a runner on at first base. Orioles hitting .275, 4th best in the American League. Paredes over there hoping to cross the plate. Cabrera, 2-1 delivery to him. That's lashed, and that's going to be a base hit. Cabrera comes through with a big 2-out RBI. Betts will get it in, and it's a 1-run ball game. 4-3 on the single by Cabrera.
Nice hitting. Boy, there is nothing that breaks your heart more if you're pitching than if you throw a pretty good pitch down and away, and the hitter goes down and gets it. And that's exactly what Cabrera does. Didn't try to pull it, serves it over the head of the shortstop, Brock Holt, and again, the misplay or the non-play by Hanley Ramirez gives the Orioles an opportunity to put another run on the board, and the inning's not over.
2 down, runner at first base, Cabrera. Alejandro De Aza will wait as a hard throw is made over to hold the runner on. Cabrera is a threat to go. Orioles stolen bases, 6 out of 9. Cabrera 1 for 1. Base stealers are 2 for 2 against Porcello this year. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball. So both teams coming through with 2 out hits. Red Sox getting 4 runs on 3 hits in the 5th inning, and all of it came after 2 down. And Cabrera's RBI comes with 2 away.
Yeah, Alejandro would love to get a ball thigh high inside part of the plate because that's where his power is.
Delivery to him is going to be a breaking ball in the dirt, and he gets ahead on the count here 2-0.
Yeah, Mookie Betts, he plays as if Alejandro Diaz is going to hit the ball the other way. If he gets over about 2 steps into left center field as a center fielder, here's your center fielder. So if you can get the count, that's where his power is. He hits one up the gap. This is going to be a tie game.
2-0 the count.
Of course, they're going to pitch away.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Hannigan's throw high, didn't get him. Cabrera gets the stolen base.
Yeah, really good jump. Of course, Cabrera stole over 30 bases for the Padres. So again, it's not only your speed. I mean, it's a straight steal. Doesn't even hesitate. Beats the throw. Tying run now at the plate. Throws just a little bit high. You can see Holt try to grab it and apply the tag. And great camera work there to show you how easily that left hand in.
So the Orioles potential tying run on at second base. And Ayaza bloops it. Ramirez was headed in that direction where he was playing and does make the catch. The Orioles will get a run on a couple of hits, no errors, and 1 left on. Cabrera the RBI, 4-3.
Time for our Geico game highlights. Porcello just magnificent early on. Had a no-hitter going into the 4th inning. And then after Manny Machado with a base hit, Jimmy Paredes makes it 2-0 Orioles on a rocket. And then here come the Red Sox. 3-run home run by Ortiz. Solo by Ramirez. They take the lead. Porcello and Gonzalez still pitching. You can see all the strikeouts. 6 of those coming in the first 3 innings. And again, Miguel only the 1 walk and then the 1 strikeout. And that is your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on our insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Pablo Sandoval, a base hit, and he is flied out off the mask and hard on the foul ball. Dana DeMuth, home plate umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Sandoval.
Yeah, I was wondering, almost it looked like he got him with a backswing. But right off the top, no, he missed Caleb with a backswing, but the ball right off of Caleb's top of his helmet, I guess, right into Dana DeMuth's mask.
Foul back. Dana maybe the only one working behind the plate now who does not follow what they've recommended, and that is that you stay between the hitter and the catcher with your head. He still stands almost directly behind the catcher, as umpires used to do, rather than moving to the inside. Now that time he moved inside. That'll be a base hit. So Sandoval is on with a single. He is 2 for 3, and that's a leadoff single, and the second time the Red Sox have had the leadoff man on base. Next Friday, the Birds begin a key 3-game weekend series with the Rays at Oriole Park. On Sunday, the first 10,000 female fans 15 and over receive an Orioles wristlet presented by PNC Bank. Good seats still available. For tickets, go to Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. For a complete schedule of upcoming promotions and giveaways, visit Orioles.com/promotions. Here's Daniel Nava. He has popped out and flied out. Hit number 7 for the Red Sox.
Yeah,
and the pitch up high.
I'm not sure that Miguel wanted to get that curveball with 2 strikes up in the zone, and getting an idea why Sandoval is a .294 lifetime hitter. I mean, you pitch him up in the zone with 2 strikes the first time, he loops it into left, hang a curveball, he hits a P into right field. Great contact hitter.
1-0 to Nava. Short lead at first, and the pitch up high.
And
Gonzalez trying to get what other starters of late have not been able to do. The Orioles starters have only gone 5 1/3 innings or fewer for 8 consecutive games. And in 13 of the 16 the Orioles have played, the starters have worked 6 or fewer innings. Not what they wanted to do here at the start of the year. 2-0 delivery to him, and that'll be down the line. Piazza over. Runner halfway back. Nava retired for the first out here in the 6th inning. Problem, of course, with the Orioles starters not going deep always ends up coming back to what happens to the bullpen. And the innings that the Orioles bullpen is having to throw already this season. That, of course, not where they wanted it to be. ERA of the bullpen is 13th in the American League, and part of that because they've had to pitch so much. Here is Holt. That's going to go to the gap. It'll fall in. Adam Jones gets over to cut it off. Runner makes a turn. Good play by Adam. Hits the cutoff man and Holt's in the ball.
Yeah, he's playing pretty much straight away, so he gets to it very quickly, and then the ball's hit very sharply. And Sandoval does not run that well. Play in front of him, so I thought he might try to go to third. Adam had to go to his left, and it would have been a difficult throw, even though he has a very strong arm.
So let's see what Gonzalez can do with it here, with the 2 on and 1 away. Number 9 hitter Brian Hannigan, their catcher, will be coming to the plate. Hannigan 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Red Sox tonight so far 1 for 2.
Yeah, the only 2 hitters in this lineup, that was Nava 4 for 9 coming in, and then Holt at .286, hitting well with runners in scoring position.
1 down, 2 on. Sandoval not fleet of foot at second. Ground ball fouled off. The Orioles will look for the double play ground ball here, and Tommy Hunter is up in the bullpen.
Yeah, that was a intention ground ball pitch. 2-seamer down at the knees. There is Tommy. In fact, Tommy came in and pitched in the Gonzalez game up in Fenway Park a couple of innings.
1-run ball game here. The Orioles getting one of those runs back in their half of the 5th, now trying not to give it back to the Red Sox here in the 6th. 0-1 delivery by Gonzalez, and a grounder back to the mound, the one he wanted. There's one, relay off balance, and they get the out. Boy, that was a tough play. Cabrera, that throw by Gonzalez, not exactly thrown hard, and Cabrera had to lean to get it, and then off balance still gets the double play. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left on. Game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. A moment. Porcello on the mound. And Paredes at the plate. And there is a major league first. Bobby Dickerson having a discussion here. Navarro, Cabrera, infield positioning. That was a heck of a throw made by Cabrera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought actually that Miguel threw it a little bit softer than he really did, but he kind of threw a knee-high strike. And Cabrera would have liked it somewhere around the chest. So he had to grab it, make sure they got hold of one, and then awkward throw, but nice turn of the double play.
Brady's getting his first homer off Porcello. Good for 2 in the 4th inning. RBI Cabrera in the 5th. 4-3 ball game as the Red Sox got theirs in the 5th inning on a 3-run homer by Ortiz, followed by a Ramirez solo home run. Manny Machado with a base hit in the 4th, 1 for 2. He's got a 4-game hit streak going. Breaking ball that he'll lay off, and it's taken outside for a ball. Good ball game underway here. Red Sox have already gone 4-1 in 1-run games this year. The Orioles 2-3. 2-0 delivery by Porcello and a big cut. 83 pitches thrown by the Red Sox starter. A little too long taken. Manny Machado will stand out. Right-handers 2-1 pitch to him off the fist. Sandoval down, up, and can't make the throw. And nor could it be picked by Napoli. That probably will be an error.
Yep, one hopper. Yeah, I was kind of watching him throw when they take infield, and he, pretty good arm, but not a lot of strong throws. And right here, he has to get up, puts a little bit more on it, and when he does, he skips it. Napoli, well, a couple of years ago, last year, not so much, was one of the better fielding first basemen in the American League. I never, when he came up, catcher with the Angels, one of those guys that constantly hit 20 home runs, but he could pick it at first. That was not an easy play by any means, but pretty routine. Yeah, charged with his 3rd error of the season. So let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of it. That's a big error to the first batter of an inning. Yeah, they did it last inning when Ramirez couldn't catch the ball and left. That's an extra out. Here's another one here in the 6th. That's 10 errors committed by the Red Sox. They are now tied with the Orioles in 10 errors on the year. Paredes delivered the home run in the 4th inning, a strikeout victim in the 1st. Paredes now has had 7 hits and 14 at bats against the Red Sox this year, hitting .500. Orioles. Yeah. Well, they know where he likes it, and that's the home run arms got extended kind of right there. That'll be down the line. Ramirez over and makes the catch. Foul territory. Runner tags. Throw coming. They got a chance. He is out. Ramirez makes the throw, and they get a double play, eliminating Manny Machado. Well, again, he came up as a shortstop. He can play 3rd base. So once he catches it, nobody said he can't throw. And so the play in front of you. So right here, he's going to go back. He's going to tag. Think, well, maybe I can get into scoring position. And then the play's in front of you, but it's too late. And then he makes a perfect throw. And Pedroia there, right here, that's 3 or 4 steps. But bang, bang on the money. Otherwise, he's safe. Easily out, though. Big play. Yeah. I think Manny thought maybe the knee got in. Pedroia tagging him up on the leg. So there are 2 down, and quickly the error eliminated. And here's Adam Jones, who has singled and struck out. The Orioles, Cabrera hit into a ground ball double play in the 3rd inning. Chris Davis hit into a ground ball double play in the 4th inning, and now a double play on the fly ball here in the 6th with Ramirez's throw to Pedroia. 0-1 delivery to Adam. That'll be inside.
Single and has struck out. Porcello gets some defensive help after a defensive letdown. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Hunter's still working in the bullpen, so one would think he's coming in. And the pitch will be taken up high. 2 ball, 1 strikeout on Adam. Porcello's 2-1 delivery to him will be foul back. This is where Adam has done some pretty good work. 2 strike hits.
Oh, now he gets himself to 2 strikes, but you like the approach. And of course, Rick Porcello, he knows Adam hit the home run off him up in Fenway. Where can I go? Throw a strike, but keep the ball in the ballpark, and that's usually down and away. But Adam's been covering that outside corner with the best of them.
Flipping those outside pitches to center or to right.
And then you get it up, he becomes a home run threat.
2-2 delivery, target outside. That was outside, and he didn't get that one. So Porcello gets his 7th strikeout. No runs, no hits, an error, but nobody left on base. It remains 4-3 Boston. Good ball game, all about the pitchers. Miguel Gonzalez will come out of the ball game, and there's the line.
Yeah, you can see a lot more fastballs tonight because he had pretty good control, except in the 5th inning where he gave up the walk, his only walk of the night, and then a couple of home runs. That is the difference. And then our AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T mobilizing your world as Tommy Hunter comes on and he wants to mobilize the Red Sox offense.
Mookie Betts, the leadoff batter, has been on all 3 times. A walk, hit by a pitch, and singled. He scored in the 5th inning on the 3-run homer by Ortiz. He started that inning with a 2-out walk. He is 0 for 3 against Hunter.
There are Tommy's numbers. Inning last night up in Toronto. So the ERA is going to be high because of the grand slam he gave up to.
That's a base hit. They cannot get Betts out of there. 4 times up, 4 times on, and he does it here in the 7th, leading it off.
Well, not a lot of bad pitches tonight by Miguel Gonzalez. A couple of them with 2 strikes. A couple of good at bats by the Red Sox, but that's not where you want to go. 0-2, inside middle, belt high, young fastball hitter. So Tommy doesn't hit his spot, and Betts with great speed. Might be a little bit of difference here with Pedroia up the ability to run.
Pedroia's had a base hit, 1 for 3 in the ball game. He's hit Tommy Hunter at a 7 for 27 clip with 3 doubles against Hunter for Pedroia. Takes the pitch. It is up high for a ball. Tommy's working in his 3rd game against the Red Sox this season. As he appeared in 2 in Boston, he worked 2 innings, gave up no runs, 1 hit with no walks and a strikeout.
Yeah, Tommy has to figure out to do what he did last year, which is be down in the strike zone.
That'll go to Manny Machado. There's one. Relay. No. So Navarro could not get rid of it. Take it out on the slide by Betts and chose not to try it first against Pedroia.
Well, I can't think of a better double play ball until you get Betts involved. He gets to second base so quickly. I mean, look at this is a rocket. And because of that, Navarro can't clear him. Well, routine double play is not a double play because of aggressive base running, and now you get Ortiz up.
Ortiz with the home run, his 4th of the year, a 3-run homer in the 5th inning. First against the Orioles this season. And he will take the pitch for a strike on the inside corner. He's had a single and he's flied out. 4-3 ball game. Ortiz against Hunter, 7 out of 26 and 3 home runs off Tommy. That one bounced off Joseph.
Yeah, I think it got the bat and went straight down. Yep.
And a typical tough night for the guys behind the plate. Catcher, home plate umpire.
Yeah, a little check swing and then right at the bat somewhere in the groin area. That's why you wear the protective cup. Hope it fits well, and then you move on with the game.
Ring-a-ding-ding. 1-1 runner going. Throw down. Joseph. Got him. Throw on the shortstop side, and here comes John Farrell. Pedroia thought he had beat it, and Farrell will decide whether he wants
he's coming out.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, did he ever get to the bag? The throw's high. It looked like he beat it, but did the glove get down before he could get to the base? And I mean, what do you don't get penalized for asking for a replay. Why wouldn't you call for it?
He's going to challenge
it.
Yeah,
you would think he would.
So we'll take a look. The Orioles are being told to stay out on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you can overturn that if you call him out. Very, very close. Nice swipe tag because of the this is Manny Machado. Yeah, I think he might have gotten the foot before, but even if he did, as you mention all the time, Gary, not a definitive maybe overturn. You never know, though.
Nope.
I mean, am I wrong here? Last year, didn't you? If you challenged early and lost, didn't you lose your challenge?
Yes, that was changed.
Now you don't do it.
That's right.
So why wouldn't you challenge all the time? I mean, other than subjugate your ego, you don't want to be perfect if you're a manager. Why wouldn't you go out and challenge? Maybe they'll get it wrong in New York. They usually don't. Yeah, I just don't see anything you're going to overturn. But no reason not to if you're John Farrell.
It's got to be decisive that the call on the field was wrong. The call was out. Is there enough evidence there to say the call was wrong?
Yeah, one of the best was the shortstop that I played with, Mark Melandri, won 8 Gold Gloves. He could get bladed because he was very thin. And that's what Manny did. He just dropped the glove. In the old days, you didn't have the replays. So if you get the glove down quick enough, boy, they'd call him out. And even if it was bang, bang. And I think that's what Manny did there.
Obviously, it's a big call. You got Ortiz waiting at the plate. And it stays. So Pedroia is out of there, caught stealing. Caleb Joseph to Machado, the third baseman, who straddled that bag and laid the tag on. Inning over. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code TRIPLEPLAY for free entry. And by Royal Farms. Check out their current specials by going to RoyalsFarms.com today. With Jim Palmer, I'm Gary Thorne here at Camden Yards. Real good ball game. 4-3. Red Sox on top. Caleb Joseph. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Ortiz went down swinging, and Joseph got Pedroia. First caught stealing for Boston this season. They've been 12 for 12. Caleb Joseph. Couple thrown out on the base paths now this season, and that's a big one. Davis will take the pitch. Porcello remains on. He has walked only one. He has struck out 7. Porcello started out striking out the first 5 that he faced in the ball game. Didn't get his 7th strikeout until the last half inning after he had picked up 6 through the first 3. And a 2-0 count. Breslow in the bullpen with the 93 pitches.
Yeah, Porcello, I mean, lights out till the 4th, and then ball up to Machado, home run to Paredes was up, and then Adam Jones got one back up the middle. Other than that, he's really mixed his pitches up well. But the Orioles again been coming back. Ramirez misplayed a ball and left. They get the other run there, one swing away from tying it.
3-0 count here, and they shift the infield, moving Sandoval over. The third baseman's over on the second base side. Davis will take it, and there's 4 in a row out of the strike zone. So that's the second walk, and it is a leadoff walk for the Orioles. This past February, the Orioles served as the mission engagement chair of the American Heart Association's 2015 Heart Ball. Together, the Orioles and the event chair Sun Trust raised more than $679,000 for cardiovascular disease research, education, and advocacy. To learn more about the event and how you can do your part to help fight heart disease, visit Orioles.com/AHA. Delman Young 0 for 2, couple of fly balls to center field. Orioles leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning, and the only 2 times in the ball game. Now John Farrell's on his pitching coach is on his way out. Nieves.
Well, when you're up, 5 pitches all in the zone, Juan Nieves is going to come out and say, okay, wait a minute, Chris Davis is not going to run. You're a ground ball pitcher. Your strength's down in the zone. Stay back a little bit. Get the arm up. That's what you do when you're tired, and just make sure that you're able to get over your front side and keep the ball down in the zone. It's, Porcello has been, in the big league since he's 20. He's only 26 years old. He's got 77 wins. So he's, again, a high school guy. He was a year after Matt Wieters. Went late by the Tigers because I think he had Scott Boras who told him, I want a ton of money. He got a ton of money. The Tigers were willing to pay it.
Delman Young, he lines at the center. It's going to fall in. That's will have to play it on a hop, and the Orioles get 2 on. And looks like Porcello's tiring, as the Orioles have 2 on here in the 7th inning, down by only a run, and that's going to be it. Farrell has seen enough, as he will go out to get his starter, working 6+ innings. Porcello has thrown 96 pitches. That'll be the fewest in his 3 starts this year. 101, 112, and 102 against the Orioles in his last outing. So both teams going to the bullpen in a 1-run ball game.
Again, I mean, house on fire early on, so you could see a lot of fastballs tonight. Really threw a lot of quality pitches. Again, only the mistake to Paredes for the 2-run home run. And your Jiffy Lube pitching change. It's time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Boy, Breslow's off to a great start. 6 scoreless appearances, a lot of fastballs, got a nice little changeup, hard slider. A guy that came to the Red Sox back in 2012 from Arizona, and a lot of games. 61 in 2013, 60 last year. Had some shoulder problems, so the number's not as good as the championship year in 2013. But again, a guy that's not overpowering, but he's effective because he makes pretty good quality pitches.
Breslow had his first blown save of the year Wednesday against Tampa Bay in 2/3 of an inning. Now he'll work against the Orioles with runners on at first and second base. Red Sox lead by 1, and you talk about playing the bunt. How about this defensive alignment at first and third? Look at Napoli and Sandoval. Runners off first and second. There's the square, and the bunt is going to go foul as Navarro trying to get the bunt down. He doubled and scored. First major league hit came in the 5th inning. Now looking to get the runners into scoring position.
And Chris Davis out at second base. It is very difficult if you're a runner before the DH. You'd either be on base, or I used to pinch run, and if somebody bunts through a ball, easy to get picked off. And again, because of this defense, it puts a premium on not only getting the ball down, but it's got to be a quality bunt.
43 sacrifice bunts for Navarro in his minor league career. They play bunt again. I mean, Nava's right in front of the plate. Napoli, rather. It's a great bunt. Got to go to first. Long throw. Oh, nice pick by Pedroia. A great sacrifice bunt laid down by Navarro in his major league debut, and Pedroia saved an error on the throw by Napoli.
Yeah, he already turned a fabulous double play on a ball that Cabrera hit. And right here, he thought, I get it. It was almost like he's trying to get out of the way. Watch this. I mean, the ball's up and in, and then you better go get it. And look at that's your first baseman, folks. And then the errant throw, which is right there. Get the bat of the head above the ball. Great job of doing that. Didn't drop the handle. And here's the Pedroia play. Not an easy one by any means.
The intentional pass, and that ball almost got away. The intentional pass will go to Caleb Joseph. Joseph's 1 for 3 with a homer off Breslow. This will load him up and give him a chance for the double play with 1 down.
Well, even if you were thinking, you have Steve Pearce on who's been struggling with the bat. If you were thinking of maybe matching up, because they have a right-hander in their bullpen, you don't have another infielder, at least a middle infielder. Well, that's how the injuries to Flaherty and Scope has hurt Buck Showalter as far as maneuvering his bench.
So there is the intentional pass, loading the bases up. Cabrera, switch hitter, RBI base hit, and he is hit into a double play. Will be coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Orioles down a run. Cabrera, you see the numbers with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam. He is 0 for 2 against Breslow. Oh, here we go. 7th inning, bases loaded, 1 down. See how the strategy works. Pitch on the way, will be taken inside for a ball.
Yeah, you know, they play. I mean, you know, Sandoval's going to play in because that's what he does. He's even with a bag, and Napoli in on the grass at first base. So any ground ball, first or third, they're probably coming home. And then Cabrera runs well, so ball up the middle is not a routine double play.
That ball put up in the air to left field. Just shy of the warning track. Tagging up at third, Davis. Runners moving to the other bases will get there. Sandoval dives to block it. Davis scores. Ball game is tied. RBI for Cabrera.
Well, that's how you get it done. Look for something you can get in the air, and then Ramirez, he'll catch it, but he'll throw to the wrong base. So the Orioles get a big break here. And again, he's not prepared to throw it. So the throw is going to be high, and because he misses the cutoff man, you're able to get another runner in scoring position.
Now Steve Pearce will come out. Runners at second and third in a tie game in the seventh, and with the announcement of Pearce as the pinch hitter, John Farrell will come to get Breslow out of the ball game, and Ogando, who's been warming up in the pen, will come on to work here in the seventh. So the Orioles with a chance to go back on top. Ball game tied at 4-4. And Cabrera sitting on the bench there talking with Paredes and Navarro. Got it done on that sacked fly, so he's had 2 RBIs in the ball game. He's tied it up. Now the Orioles will take a look at Ogando.
Yeah, he again, power arm. Orioles certainly know him. Last year it was kind of a non-year for the Rangers because of the elbow inflammation. Missed the last 4 months. Again, lights out. He was a starting pitcher. He was a reliever. He's actually been, let's see, opponents hitless in the last 13 ABs. Steve Pearce is going to try to get the Orioles on top here in the seventh. He's going to pinch hit.
So the Orioles base hit can put them up by 2. Steve Pearce pinch hitting for DeAza, who had an 0 for 3. 1 run in here in the 7th inning. There are 2 down, and home plate umpire wants to look at the baseball of Ogando. Not sure what that was. John Farrell wants to know what happened. John, obviously, whatever it was,
well,
not
former
happy.
pitcher, right?
Breaks up your rhythm.
Yeah, you warm up with a certain ball. You're happy with it. You've got a certain feel, and John, as a former pitcher, knows you got to throw another one. Not the first time it ever happened in MLB.
Steve Pearce, runners at second and third, 2 down. Pearce goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Steve has not faced Ogando before. Ogando has faced the Orioles this season in Boston for a game. He worked an inning, gave up nothing, and had a strikeout. Orioles, opportunity to get on top here in this game. They had a 2-0 lead 4th inning. 0-1 delivery on the way, and Pearce will swing through it on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, Alexei Ogando, I mean, he's tall and long limb, 6'4", whippet-like, under 200 pounds. A lot of deception. Ryan Mattis getting loose for the Orioles.
Right-handers are 3 for 14 against him. Left-handers 1 for 11. He's given up 1 home run, that to a right-handed batter. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Alexei Ogando delivers, and Pearce will foul it back.
Yeah, Steve out of hitting early, trying to stay back up the middle. Well, got off to that great start, couple of home runs to the first 3 games in Tampa, and then the league will adjust. Last year it seemed like out of nowhere, but he got a lot of big hits to right center field.
Pierce had a 2 for 16 on the road trip, 0 for his last 7. 1-2 delivery by Agondo. Pierce will take it.
Wow.
Agondo is headed to the dugout along with the rest of his teammates, but they'll go back.
And probably a little bit off the outside corner, but not by much. Of course, our strike zone, Steve ought to go get the glove and play left. You can see maybe just a touch off the corner.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery by Agondo to Pierce. Fought back again.
And he's got a good breaking ball too that he has yet to throw.
Young is the Orioles lead runner. Joseph at second. By the way, Caleb Joseph's intentional walk, which did backfire to the moment, is the first Caleb's ever had at the major leagues. He had 5 in the minors, none in the majors. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Pierce. Pierce is in the leadoff spot now for De Aza. Agondo's 2-2 delivery to him down low, blocked by Hannigan. 3-2.
And not a real good breaking ball, never in the strike zone. So Steve just looked at it. Look away, protect in, trust your hands. Steve Pierce has got some good hands when it comes to hitting. If he hangs a breaking ball, you probably ought to be all over it. And then, of course, you got a guy on deck that hit 2 home runs last night. So Agondo, I'm not sure, even in this situation, he wants to have to pitch to Machado.
Runners off second and third. Pitch on the way. Pierce will take it, and he is on. So Agondo surrenders the walk, and the bases are loaded again. The runner at third, lead runner Young, the responsibility of Porcello. Joseph, that's Breslow's run, and Agondo now with a walk to Pierce. Bases loaded, 2 away, and here's Manny Machado. Reached on an error, singled and scored, and has struck out. And he's gone 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position on the year. House making some noise here at Camden Yards, and a timeout asked for by the catcher, Hannigan. Red Sox bullpen coming in ranked 4th among pens in the American League ERA. The delivery, Machado fights it off, trickles foul.
Yeah, Gary, that's a pitcher's pitch, and when you make that pitch, if you're Alexi Agondo, you wanted it to put in play. Manny swings at that pitch, yet fouls it off, hoping that maybe he'll get a better pitch to hit.
Facing Agondo for the first time. The Manny chant. 0-1 delivery. Way inside, and Hannigan had to pull that one back.
Yeah, for Manny Machado, for a young player to hit over 300 runners in scoring position, this is a backup slider. It just keeps coming, just kind of spins, and again all over the place tonight, diving. Does look a little bit like a goalie.
1 ball, 1 strike count. There are 2 down. Machado will take it. It's there. And the count goes to 1-2. Lead-off walk. Chris Davis is the run that is crossed on a sac fly by Cabrera. Orioles have picked up 2 walks in the inning. 3 walks to count the intentional. They've actually had only 1 hit. That was the single by Young. And now Manny Machado asks for the timeout. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and Machado will tower that one up in the air. Hannigan, will there be room? There will not. Just enough to get over the screen.
About 1.5 feet.
Young, Joseph, Pierce. Again, the 1-2 delivery on the way, and Machado will foul that one. First base, Napoli. Will there be room? No. That one just made it into the Orioles dugout.
Well, trying to just protect the entire strike zone. That's why it's so hard to hit with 2 strikes. Under 180. I think 176 was the batting average in the major leagues last year. And of course, it includes the National League with all the pitchers hitting, but it's still a very, very low number, usually in the mid 180 number.
Battle engaged here. Alexi Ogando and Manny Machado. Here's the 1-2 again, and that one is outside, tantalizingly close, but not there. 2-2.
Yeah, you could tell he's got a pretty good idea of what he wants to do. I mean, he was just trying to exactly put a little black edge around the plate, paint the corner. So you can see right there, and of course now all of a sudden with the bases loaded, you get the 2-2. If you go 3-2, well, can't be very exact with your stuff. You got to throw a strike.
2-2 delivery to Machado, and it is 3-2. Well, they go the distance on this at bat.
And Gary, you're out there, you're thinking, boy, 1-2, I'm going to make my pitch. 2-2, I'm going to make my pitch. 3-2, I got to throw a strike. And this is the same kid that hit 2 home runs in Toronto last night. This is the same kid that broke up the no-hitter tonight for Porcello in the 4th.
This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Runners will go. 3-2 delivery. Machado goes down swinging and slams the bat in disgust at himself. Ogando will leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Orioles will pick up 1 run and tie it up 4-4. History, And it involves two who would enter the Hall of Fame. In 1937, Josh Gibson and Judy Johnson were traded to the Homestead Grays of the Negro Leagues for $25,000 and two journeymen. One of the greatest hitters in baseball ever. Gibson involved in that deal. Satchel Paige said of him, "You look for his weaknesses, and while you're looking, he's liable to hit 45 home runs." There are the numbers Josh Gibson put up on his Hall of Fame plaque. And unfortunately, never got to see him play in the integrated major leagues. He died 3 months before Jackie Robinson entered the majors. And the pitch will be taken for a strike as we go to the 8th inning. There is Steve Pearce playing left field for De Aza, for whom he pinch hit. Tommy Hunter remains on, is now the pitcher of record. Both Gonzalez and Porcello, the two starters, are non-decisioned in this ballgame. 0-1 delivery on the way. And that one will miss to Ramirez. Ramirez delivered the home run, 5th inning, his 6th of the year. Back-to-back homers by Ortiz and Ramirez as the Red Sox got all 4 of their runs in that 5th, coming with 2 down. 1-1 delivery. Ramirez a chopper. Helmet off again. Machado charging. Quick throw. Got him. Foot on the bag. Good stretch by Chris Davis. Is Manny all right?
Yeah, that was a tough play.
Limping a little.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a tough play. Short hop right there, and then the snap throw, everything on it. You're going in one direction, and look at Chris Davis. Terrific stretch and catch. Again, I mean, you could just see it following the ball into the glove. And then again, of course, coming off those knee ligament surgeries. I always kind of wonder how the legs, everybody looks like he's a lot bigger and stronger. That'll certainly test your conditioning.
Davis, outstanding stretch.
Yeah.
Big defensive play here in the 8th. And a swing and a miss by Napoli. 4 for 14 lifetime off Hunter. Napoli in this game's had an 0 for 3. He's now had 2 hits and 16 at bats against the Orioles this year. 1 down. Hunter with the 0-1 delivery, and that ball up in the air to center. Jones going back. Checks for the wall. Plenty of room. And he's got it. 2 down. Follow the Orioles all season long with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCash, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Matchups now out of the bullpen as Hunter will come out of the ball game with Sandoval switch hitter due up. Brian Mattis will come on to pitch. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Tight ball game. Gets hotter as the temperature drops down. We started at 59 degrees. It's now down to 50 here in Baltimore.
Yeah, Brian Mattis comes on because of the short start by Bud Norris. Had to come on 3 innings, 7 hits, and a couple of earned runs up in his last start in Toronto. Edwin Encarnacion hit a home run off him in the 6th inning. What gave the Orioles needed innings. So, and you saw from the pitch selection, of course, they turned Pablo Sandoval around. They'd rather have him face Mattis right-handed than hitting left-handed off of Tommy Hunter.
And the shift put on against Sandoval. Hunter works an inning and 2/3, 1 hit and 1 strikeout.
Yeah, that curveball pretty much outside third of the plate, and Brian doesn't get the call.
1-0 delivery. Sandoval looking for his first hit, batting right-handed. He is 0 for 13 hitting from this side of the plate. All 15 of the hits he'd picked up coming in, and the 2 that he's had tonight all coming from the left side. Mattis with the 1-1 delivery to him, and that's foul back. Going to jump on one at 90. Inichi Tazawa in the bullpen. Now with a 2 strikeout, the Orioles move Navarro back over on the second base side. One-two delivery by the lefty. Close.
Well, good velocity for Brian. It's probably the best of the year. He's been about 88, 89, using his changeup more, breaking balls more. You saw from the almost in the 30, almost 40 percentile, but fastball's way down as far as good breaking ball there. So I think all the hard work in spring training, letting him start early in the spring to try to establish, we talk about it all the time, to the arm side. He's so much more comfortable getting lefties out as Darren O'Day for the Orioles. Submariner gets loose, but more comfortable to the arm side, which is down and away to righties, even though here it looks like they're going to try to get in on Sandoval.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that ball will be foul back. Brian Mattis on the season so far has come in to face both righties and lefties, being used as he was in spring training by Buck Showalter. He needs him in the bullpen to be able to get outs both ways, and he's done a pretty good job of getting that done. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll miss, and the count goes full. So Sandoval works at the 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, because of the inefficiency of the Orioles starters, he's had to pitch earlier, and as you mentioned, against both righties and lefties to give them more innings.
3-2 count, 2 down. Sandoval will take it. He's on with a walk. It's only the second walk the Red Sox have picked up in the game, one by Gonzalez and one here. So with 2 away, John Farrell is going to go to the bench, as it'll be Alan Craig coming up, and Buck Showalter looks like he is going to answer after Craig gets introduced as the pinch hitter for Nava, and Darren O'Day will be coming out of the bullpen. So Brian Mattis will work no part of an inning and surrenders the walk. Ball game tied 4-4 in the 8th.
with Sandoval 2 outs here in the 8th inning. There are the numbers: 50-50, breaking balls, sinkers, an occasional four-seamer to be able to pitch up in the zone. Has a changeup, has not had opportunity to use it. Well, there are the numbers: lower ERA, coming off a fabulous year. One of the guys you can rely on, get righties and lefties out. Alan Craig will come and pinch hit.
Today has held opponents off the board last 4 outings, working 5 innings. 5 strikeouts, a walk, 4 hits. Runner on at first base. Sandoval 2 down. Craig will be the pinch hitter for Nava. Nava had an 0 for 3 in the ball game.
Yeah, probably a prelude to tomorrow, because Chen, the left-hander, will pitch. Nava, much better hitter left-handed. You'll probably see Craig in the lineup in some capacity.
Sweeping pitch is going to be in there for a strike. O'Day worked against the Red Sox in the series in Boston, and a couple of very good outings. 2 2/3 innings, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. 0-1 count. Guarding the line, Manny Machado at third. Big hole between first and second. Craig will take the pitch away for a ball. 1-1.
Yeah, I heard so many things about Alan Craig. He used to go up to Jupiter. 2 years ago he hit .454, led the National League with runners in scoring position for a Cardinal team that would go to the World Series. Year before that he hit .400. Those are amazing numbers. And then last year with the Cardinals, got traded in the John Lackey trade.
O'Day up high. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
And then just could not hit for the Red Sox. It was one of the more amazing things I've ever seen.
Yep. And now kind of lost in the shuffle.
Well, you're kind of wondering if with Victorino having some hamstring problems, maybe he will get a few more at bats. Got to find some place for him. But
2 ball, 1 strike. Runner on first base. That's in there for a strike. The Yankees have won their game over the Mets 6-1, and Tampa Bay walloped Toronto 12-3. So now in the American League East at this moment, you've got Boston 9 wins. The Yankees now have 10. Toronto's got 9. Tampa Bay's got 9, and the Orioles have 7. 2 ball, 2 strike count. We're tied at 4-4 in this one. Craig will go after it and just missed down the third baseline. 2-2 from O'Day. Orioles have had the home run. Paredes got a 2 RBI shot. Cabrera had an RBI sac fly, and then got an RBI base hit. Those are the runs for the Orioles. 4 runs 5th inning. Boston home runs. Ortiz for 3. Ramirez solo shot back to back. 2-2 delivery. Craig will take it up and in. So the count again full. 3-2.
Yeah, you look at his batting average last year. I mean, after hitting over 300 3 straight years for the Cardinals, he had 128, 12 hits and 94 at bats for the Red Sox. Talking about how he never ever could get into a rhythm. New league, coming out of a comfortable environment in St. Louis to a Red Sox team.
Sandoval will go. 3 ball, 2 strike count. O'Day's delivery to him. Craig will chop it. Third base, right underneath the glove of Manny Machado. On the way to third, Sandoval, who was running, will get there easily. So the Red Sox, with 2 away here in the 8th inning, cover the corners. Machado trying to short hop that ball, and it skipped right underneath him.
Yeah, you do have an option here. You try to get the short hop. You can see how quickly he gets to it, but by doing that, you pick the hard hop. So if you take 1 step, Mike Bordick used to always talk about it when he was working with Miguel Tejada, and now we're talking about a guy that won the Platinum Glove. But if you take 1 step laterally, or even a half a step back, you get the easy hop. Maybe you don't make the play, but you don't get the runner all the way to third base.
Manny charged with his 3rd error of the season.
Wow, they gave him an error on that ball.
So far.
Yeah.
So now another big moment. O'Day working against Holt. Brock Holt first and third. There are 2 down. Machado will play just off the grass at third. And Holt will take the pitch up high for a ball. Holt's gone 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position this season. He's had a base hit that came in the 6th inning. The error keeps the door open against O'Day. Another one of those extended innings. Darren's pitch is in there for a strike. Holt getting his first look at O'Day, and that's always tough.
Well, he's not
figure out that delivery.
He's not a guy that overswings. I mean, he's a up the middle type of hitter. We saw that with a hit off at Gonzalez.
1-1 delivery on the way. Foul back. O'Day gets the advantage.
But you're certainly right about different arm release point. Hitters will always tell you, looking for a little window where the ball is released. I still remember an article where Tony Gwynn and Sam Musial, 2 of the greatest left-handed hitters in the history of the game, were talking about, do you actually see the spin? They said no, we see the velocity out of the hand. And that's how they discern what kind of pitch it is, at least.
1-2 delivery by O'Day. Foul back again. Brock Holt hanging. 4-4 game in the 8th. 9 hits for the Red Sox. Each team's committed an error. Boston's left 5. The Orioles have left 4. Sandoval got the walk with 2 down, and Craig reached on the error. Now O'Day trying to shut it down and keep the ball game tied. Here's the 1-2 delivery again. Ball, a towering fly ball to right field. It is way back near the wall, and goodbye home run. Onto the flag court. Brock Holt, a 3-run homer, and a 7-4 Boston lead.
Well, that's a pretty big number 1 home run of the season. 3 home runs tonight for the Red Sox. And 2 of them, this variety, the 3-run, tries to go up in the zone. This is a young hitter, and he just goes up right with him, and it goes out of here by a large margin.
Boy, again, as happened in the 5th inning, all of it coming with 2 down. Yeah. Started by a walk. Brian Mattis gave to Sandoval. The error on Manny Machado kept the inning alive, and then the Red Sox taking advantage of it on the Holt home run.
Yeah, how did the 4-run 5th start for the Red Sox? Betts walked.
Yep.
We talk about walks, and I always thought it's not the base on balls, it's what happens after.
So a big home run. 10 hits now for the Red Sox, 7-4. Here's Hannigan. And a ground ball towards the middle. Cabrera comes over to get it. He'll make the play, and that will retire the side. But 3 are in on the home run by Holt. Orioles have got to come back again. Armas to do up. Paredes, Jones, and Davis. Having been out-homered on the year 17-15, have picked up 3 in this ball game and now lead it by a score of 7-4. As we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the Orioles again will have to try and battle from behind, and they'll do it against Shinichi Tozawa.
Yeah, well, the changeup is a splitter. He's got a good breaking ball. Last year led the Red Sox with 71 appearances. So again, he'd be 29 on June, coming out of Yokohama, Japan. Pretty underrated. 71 games last year. They only scored off him in 16 of the 71. Good velocity, 92 to 94. And again, the slider and the splitter to get the ground ball and the strikeouts.
All of those runs in the 8th inning unearned because of the error. The Red Sox taking advantage of it, and the Orioles have now surrendered 9 unearned runs on the year. Alan Craig stays in the ball game. He's in right field with Nava out of there. Mattis will be charged with a run on a walk in no part of an inning pitched, and will become the pitcher of record for the Orioles. Agondo, pitcher of record now with a chance to win the ball game for the Red Sox. Now let's see what the Orioles can do with it. Here's Paredes, and Tozawa's pitch in there for a strike. Paredes, the home run, 4th inning, his 2nd of the year, 2 RBIs. Lined into what looms larger and larger is a big double play in the 6th inning on a ball to left field, handled by Ramirez, who then threw the runner out trying to advance at 2nd. And the pitch taken for a strike. Manny Machado's had a tough night. He's the runner that got thrown out at 2nd trying to advance. Came up with the bases loaded and struck out, and then got charged with the error in the last half inning. Manny's had a tough one so far, but he'll get probably another shot at the plate. Pitch is up high, off speed, delivery gets away.
Well, he played a ball that he could have caught. I thought it would be a base hit the way he played it, because it didn't come close to catching it. And you mentioned it may be changed. But again, I'm wondering if that had anything to do with striking out with the bases loaded, because last night, a couple of home runs, disappointed. It's usually something you don't see from him.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that ball, an Adam ball. Yeah. Craig out there and in the right place.
Yeah, Alan Craig said, "Why me?" But then again, the Red Sox fans are saying, "Well, better to right than left." With Ramirez out there, I mean, again, they're going to have to. And with Victorino with the hamstring problems, they can't put anybody in for defense. Well, the Orioles are just looking to maybe get a break, get an extra out, or get an extra base runner or so.
John Farrell, the manager, spoke to Ramirez and his left field play on a Boston radio station, saying, "I want to show him the confidence to bringing him along. I think the benefit of not taking him out far outweighs, at least at this point in time, taking him out because of his continued growth and us showing faith in him in left field." So he doesn't want to pull him and have Ramirez believe I can't play out here. Fouled off by Jones, a base hit, couple of strikeouts for Adam in the ball game. Well, Orioles down 7-4.
They already have a DH, as we know.
Yes.
He had a 3-run home run early in the game, David Ortiz.
And they're not going to move anybody. No. I mean, you're not going to move Sandoval at 3rd, Bogarts when he's playing at short, Mike Napoli over at first base. There's no other place to put him. So if you're going to play him, he's in the outfield. 0-1 count, 1 down. Shinichi Tozawa. Jones will jump on that one and foul it right straight back. Adams had a 3 for 10 lifetime off the Red Sox right-hander.
Well, what I've seen of guys that come to the big leagues and either are learning how to play left, or in Hanley Ramirez's case, a converted infielder, is the way to do it, and it takes time and effort, is that you have to play balls off the bat. And you got to come out and spring, in batting practice, and at least for one session, get everybody out of there and play it like it's the game, and you'll get better. But you got to you got to focus, and you got to put the time in.
Popped up first base. Napoli. Foul territory, puts it away. Well, I'll tell you one thing, he's certainly got an outfielder's glove. See the size of that thing? Look how long. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. He's got long fingers on it and a big webbing. That's what outfielders want. It increases, obviously, their ability to stretch and make plays. That's not a glove he would have used playing in the infield. 2 down. Here's Chris Davis. Davis, a walk, scored in the 7th inning. He's hit into a double play and is struck out. Infield shift is on with Pedroia moving on to shallow right. And Chris will take the pitch away for a ball. Davis 0 for 6. Funichi Tozawa. Jason Garcia in the bullpen. One-0 pitch to Chris will be foul back.
Yeah, Tozawa going into the danger zone out over the plate and gets away with it.
Left-handers have gone 3 for 12 against him coming into the ball game. Right-handers 1 for 15. Make that 1 for 16 now. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Framed, doesn't get the call. 2-1. 7-10-1 for the Red Sox. 4-6-1 for the Orioles. Deep into the bullpen for both of these teams. Breslow, Gondo, now Tozawa for the Red Sox. Hunter, Madison, O'Day for the Orioles. 2-1 delivery. And way up in the air, power alley in right, and goodbye, home run. Chris Davis delivers the long ball for the Orioles, his 3rd of the year, and the Orioles get it back to 7-5.
Yeah, the moon ball, the moon shot. More home runs in Camden Yards than any other ballpark in Major League Baseball. 5 tonight.
And it's a cool night.
Yeah.
They're still going out.
Yeah.
3rd home run and 8th RBI for him. For Douglas Krolak, our Maryland lottery contestant. Another $500. The Chris Davis home run. $500 on the Paredes home run earlier. And a 2-run ball game. Delman Young 1 for 3 with a base hit. He'll foul it off.
Well, here we go. We talked about, I mean, look where the target is. Out over the plate. Could go a long, long way.
Tozawa delivering his first home run pitch of the season. 0-1 count on Delman Young. That's towards the middle. And that's going to be something. And whatever it's called, Young's on, and the Orioles will get the potential tying run to the plate.
Yeah, that's the important part. I imagine because it's up the middle.
Base hit.
Yeah, and of course Holt plays all over the place. He can play the outfield. He can play second base. I mean, if you're John Farrell, you can give Bogarts the night off, or you can give Pedroia the night off. Juan Nieves again out. Red Sox pitching coach. John Farrell, who had been the prior pitching coach, went up to Toronto to manage when he came back. They have his choice, his pitching coach for the Red Sox.
So Delman Young with a couple of hits. Robbie Ross in the bullpen. The Orioles getting it done with 2 down. A home run by Chris Davis. And then the single by Young. The Orioles get the potential tying run to the plate. Now Zach Britton, the Oriole closer, will get ready. Should the Orioles be able to get either the lead or tie this ball game up, he would come on in the 9th inning. Navarro, a double, is sacrificed and is struck out. The major league debut has been a good one for him. Pitch will be taken up high for a ball. who said Navarro actually had an injury to start the season, so he has not had many games under his belt at AAA Norfolk. 3 for 7, a home run, 2 RBIs, played in only 2 games, AAA Norfolk, prior to his recall today. And the pitch is inside for a ball.
Well, Buck Showalter talking about how they got Navarro. Part of the deal was that because he was sought after right on the 40-man roster, so Jason Nick's not on the 40-man roster, so they would have had to change a roster spot. So Ray comes up. Turns out a big part in tonight's game to this point could be bigger right here.
2-0 delivery by Tazauer, and he's going to miss with that. So the count goes to 3-0.
Yeah, one thing about Dana DeMuth, he can call a knee-high strike in the 3rd inning, a strike, and in the 8th, a ball. And you think you made a good pitch, and it's not. It's a little bit inconsistent as far as what's a strike and what's not.
Bullpen ready for the Red Sox if they need to make another change. Tazauer, 3-0 count, and it's taken for a strike.
Yeah, same pitch, and one's a ball and the next one's a strike. Now everybody's going to go crazy because they want him to walk, but and I'm not saying they're not strikes, but that ball, the way it's caught, tells me it's probably a little bit out of the zone. Otherwise, why would Hannigan drag it back into the strike zone? Otherwise, it just keep the glove there.
3-1 the count. Runner on first base, Young. Tazauer's delivery put up in the air to center. Betts coming in, and he's got it. To retire the side, the Orioles get a run on a couple of hits. They leave one on. Chris Davis delivers his 3rd home run with 2 down in the inning, and it is a 7-5 ball game. Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. Back here at Camden Yards, 7-5 ball game. Back and forth we go, and back and forth come the pitchers from the bullpen.
Yeah, so Rule 5 draftee Jason Garcia comes in. You can see fastballs, so most of the time. High ERA. And the strikeouts. It's been a little bit of command problem. Of course, he was the guy that threw the ball behind Jose Bautista, and then Bautista would hit a home run and walk around the bases. And John Russell, I said, he put it pretty well, the Oriole bench coach, former catcher. He said, not the first time he's thrown a ball behind somebody this year. Now, this is a guy out of A-ball. That is trying to learn on the fly. Only pitched about 56 innings last year.
His job now to hold the Red Sox right here at the score as we go to the 9th inning of a 7-5 ball game. Offenses putting up some numbers here in this one. O'Day worked a third of an inning, 2 runs, neither earned, gave up 1 hit. That one in the air to right field. Been busy out there in that power alley in the ball game. Hauled in by Young. Betts is retired. Finally get him out of there. One down. Our T-Mobile game changer.
Yeah, Darren O'Day goes up the ladder, and so does Holt. First home run of the year, 3-run variety. Well, Brock Holt with a 3-run home run, Ortiz with a 3-run home run, and then Hanley Ramirez with a solo shot.
Here is Dustin Pedroia. Base hit in the 5th inning and scored. Popped out a couple of times, hit into a fielder's choice, got caught stealing in the 7th inning. Back end of a strike him out, throw him out double play. And the pitch will be taken outside for a ball. Koji Uehara, the closer, in the bullpen for Boston. 2-0 count. Pedroia 254 in the year, 9 RBIs. Leans into it and watches it for a strike.
That's pretty impressive right there. Gets behind him. Dustin's looking for a fastball. I was looking for a fastball. I think fans in Boston in the upper deck. He drops off a good slider. Totally unpredictable.
Garcia's pitch will be on the outside corner. Another strike.
And Dustin Pedroia going, why me? Come on. You're out of A ball. You're not supposed to do this.
That's why the Orioles like him so much.
Well, I told him today, relaxed. He said, yeah, I'm a little tense. I said, well, I was there. Came out of A ball to the big leagues. And
he'll bounce that one.
And again, if you get tense, you grip the ball tighter. I said, boy, grip pressure is really important. He said, well, I feel like I'm really flying open. I said, well, stay closed. You know, I'm master of answers.
You are.
Well, I said, you know, if you're flying open, don't
Hurts
fly
when you do
open.
that. Don't do that.
That's right. Exactly.
3-2 delivery on the way. Pedroia will go to short with this one. Bobble and another error. So Cabrera could not come up with it. And again, the Orioles open a door, having allowed 3 unearned runs in the ball game already.
Boy, I mean, it's such a pivotal inning. You know, Koji is their closer is warming up. He'd like to have an extra run or two. And it's pretty routine until you don't catch it. And
well, the Orioles defense has been less than stellar, particularly of late over the last week.
Well, you get a little bit spoiled. You know, we all know about J.J. Hardy, 3 consecutive Gold Gloves, and hopefully eventually he'll be back.
So here's Ortiz again, takes a strike, didn't like it.
Yeah, well, he's going to grade Dated Moose strike zone, and he's down there bordering on an F. Right there, about a D-.
He had the big home run, 5th inning, good for 3 RBIs, 4th of the year. He's had a couple of hits, single home run, has struck out, flied out, and going for another home run. That's about as hard as you can swing. 0-2. That's a mercy.
Well, he's always had bat speed. Trying to catch up right here, and
the youngster and the veteran. 0-2 count. Pedroia, the base runner, with a shift on. Garcia's delivery to him, and a check swing. Home plate umpire says he went, and he's gone. Strikeout.
No more arguments on those check swings. We had a great pitch. You know, backdoor slider. Caleb Joseph called it. And again, you got to throw it. Terrific pitch. And he starts the bat. Thinks it's going to be outside. I'm going to hit it. Oh, and the bat well out in front of the zone.
Yep.
No argument about that.
So now 2 down. Ramirez, the back-to-back home runs in the 5th with Ortiz, has 6 on the year now. Lined out, flied out, robbed of a hit by Manny Machado on a play in the 8th inning. And he will foul that one back. He, like Ortiz, does not get cheated on their cuts. He's got an uppercut, trying to drive that long ball. And when he gets a hold of it, he can. He hits the ball hard. Garcia trying to get out of the inning. Pedroia taking a very short lead over there at first base. Throw over, and he'll fall back onto the bag.
Well, the point I was trying to make to Jason, he was just, I said, how you feeling and whatever, because it's your first month in the big leagues. And he said, yeah, just I get a little uptight. I'm not pitching as much as I'm used to. And I said, well, really, Greg Maddux used to always say your front shoulder, and that would be his left shoulder. That's your steering wheel. It kind of takes you where you want to go. It'll always get out of the way, especially when you have an arm like he does. So get the ball on the fingertips, relax if you can. That's hard to do for anybody. And throw strikes and trust your stuff. Everybody talks about it, but at the end of the day, if you're ever going to be any good, you got to do that. And as you get experience, you can refine those kind of things.
He'll take the pitch inside. Pedroia non-moving. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Ramirez has started out with the Red Sox hot on the road. Of the 6 home runs he's hit, 4 of those have been on the road. He's hitting over 320. Yes, it is the first month, but over 320 to start in road games, not bad. Reached for it, popped it up. Davis will come over, and that will be beyond his reach. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, he is a 300 lifetime hitter with power. I mean, he's had years, 29, 33 home runs. The biggest thing for him was with the Dodgers staying healthy. Yeah. Obliques, hamstrings, keeping him on the field. And of course, when he's on the field, he can flat out hit.
Got to get a strap though for that helmet.
Well,
it never stays on.
That's a style. I mean, it's really it's
every swing it falls off.
Part of his MO. Ooh, that's a trademark.
Modus operandi. Ooh-ah. As we enter the world of film noir. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Pedroia the lead at first. Garcia trying to get it done right here. Orioles want that chance in the bottom of the 9th inning with that score right where it is at 7-5, but you got to get Ramirez. 1-2 delivery on the way. Fouled it off his leg, foot, ankle, somewhere down there, and it stays at 1-2.
And I think he broke his back.
Yep.
Right up on the trademark. Wear that number. Those things happen.
This is not good.
Right, I'm going to call my people. I'm going to call my people in at Dodgertown out in Los Angeles. I think he's fine.
He will.
That does hurt.
Back.
I will say this.
Yes.
Before the DH, Dean Chance could have had the great sinker. 12 shutouts, won the Cy Young. I hit one on top of my foot. Couldn't walk the next day.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that ball put up in the air, shallow center. Jones coming, flags it. Pedroia stops the second base anyway. So Ramirez is on. He gets his second hit, and the Red Sox not done here in the top of the 9th inning. An error and a base hit. They've kept it alive. First and second with 2 away. And Napoli, who's got an 0 for 4 going, will come to the plate. And Joseph will make sure Garcia is aware of what they might want to throw here. That'll be hit number 11 for the Red Sox. And with 2 down, of course, runners will be off on contact. Red Sox 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this ball game. Pedroia will get a very big lead at second base. Garcia's delivered to Napoli. That's their first strike. And the Orioles have lost 4 in a row, trying to get out of that streak. Boston trying to add to that number. They'd love to add a run or 2 here in the 9th inning. 0-1 pitch on the way. Stayed up and in. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Swing and a miss, located perfectly away.
Well, that's why they want to protect him all year. That pitch, 94, good life, great location.
So we're going to get a pinch runner.
Yeah, it looks like Bogart's going to come out. Perfect pitch, blown away.
After fouling that pitch off his foot. John Farrell wants to get him out of there.
Well, Holt can play all over, so he'll probably go to left field.
And you get better speed at first.
Yeah, and a number of things is probably going to be defensively replaced anyway.
1-2. See his delivery, and he got him to chase one away. So a couple of strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on. The Orioles will try and get it to him in the ninth.
And Rick Dempsey, stay with us. Those extra post game is coming up following the bottom of the ninth. Birds trail at 7-5. And Rick, in this one, 3 home runs for 7 runs by Boston. All came with 2 outs in the inning.
At 2 outs and nobody on. The Orioles have made a lot of little mistakes tonight, and it's cost them big. But last night, too, they were down 4, and they came back with 4 runs, down 5. Maybe they can do it again tonight.
All right, let's hope for a happy recap. Let's see how it turns out. Back upstairs to Gary and Jim.
All right, Jim and Rick, here's the situation. 7-11-1 to 5-8-2. Koji Uehara, their closer, back out on the mound.
Yeah, well, there it is. I mean, actually, yeah, fastballs and changeups. Of course, that could be this year, but he'll throw as many fastballs and splitters. You got one, as I always say, probably rising to the 5th or 6th floor. You got the splitter diving to the basement. So he can get you out 2 different ways, throws a lot of strikes, very rarely walks anybody. And again, 39 years old, out of Osaka, Japan. The Orioles certainly know him. He was out on the field with his son today. Great guy. Really done a nice job for him.
Koji got a win in the series in Boston, working 1 inning in a ball game, giving up nothing and striking out 2. Koji Uehara going to be working here to Joseph Cabrera and Pierce due up. Bogart stays in the ball game, will play it short. Brock Holt, who had been there, moves out to left where Ramirez had been. So you got Holt, Mookie Betts, and Craig in the outfield. Sandoval, Bogarts, Pedroia, and Napoli third to first. And here's Caleb Joseph. Joseph has drawn 2 walks, 1 intentional. He is flied out to center field. Uehara's delivery to him is in there for a strike.
Yeah, there's a splitter at 78. So Snyder on deck. Mission, at least initially, get a runner on.
Orioles down by 2 here in the ninth. And there's one of them. Base hit down the line. Chased down by Holt. Joseph will stop at first base, so he does his part as he picks up the base hit to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, Koji gets a splitter that just kind of floats. But then again, you got a guy came in hitting .333. Totally different hitter than the last month of the year for Caleb Joseph.
First hit in 3 at-bats that he's had against Koji Uehara. Now Snyder will come up. Potential tying run at the plate for the Orioles. Hit number 9 for the O's.
And they don't play behind him. Napoli right on the bag, so it opens up the hole.
Snyder's 0 for 1 against Koji.
Yeah, pretty. They play Snyder to pull. I mean, they don't put the shift on, but Pedroia pretty much straight away. You can see him right here, and then you got your shortstop Bogarts who came in right there. So they kind of pull a little bit, but not your full out shift.
Big hold in left center in the outfield. 1-0 delivery to him. Off speed pitch, swung on and missed. Want to make sure we congratulate Richie Van Zels, the longtime Oriole trainer, as he was honored today at Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond, Kentucky. The Department of Exercise and Sports Science Outstanding Alumnus for 2015. Congratulations to Rich, and a big day for him. Rejoin the Orioles tomorrow. Richie, of course, has been the head trainer with the Orioles since 1988.
And as the head trainer, and then he was assistant to Ralph Salva, and before that, Richie's been around a long time. Yet he has remained remarkably young looking.
And stable of mind. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and there it is again. 78 on that one.
It's such a good splitter, and again, you don't pick it up. You see the good arm action. Got to also understand he can throw 88 to 92 miles per hour. So you're always hitters who, I'd say, what makes him so tough? They go, well, you're in the back of your mind. You know he's got a pretty good fastball. In the back of your mind, you know he's got a pretty good splitter. So one's riding and one's going down.
Snyder reaching, will foul it back, and no play. Koji's gone 2 for 2, save opportunities.
Yeah, started the year on the disabled list, had a little hamstring problem in spring training, and came back very quickly.
Oriole fans hoping here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Guahar has worked only 3 innings because of that late start to the season for him, giving up only the 1 hit. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Joseph at first base. Snyder will take the pitch, up and away.
Well, impeccable control 2 years ago on the way to a World Championship. Walked 9 and 74 in the 3rd innings last year. A little less innings, 64 in the 3rd. Walked 8. So you need to earn your way up. Very rarely walks anybody.
Snyder swing and a miss as that one drops off the table.
Well, just the dancing knuckleball. He's always, that's the way the splitter acts. A little bit harder than a knuckleball. You could see it, the split fingers. And the ball just tumbles out of the hand, and then the momentum of the ball, because it actually tumbles out of your hand. It goes straight down.
Steve Pearce came on and hit in the 7th inning, would draw a walk. He's 1 for 1 off Guahara. Joseph on at first base, gets ahead of him with a strike. The Orioles had a lead in this ball game, 4th inning, when they got a couple, lost it immediately. A 4-run 5th by the Red Sox. Battle back to tie it up 4-4. Now behind again, way out in front of it as he jumped on one that hung up in the air.
Just a little bit quick.
Guahara against his former team has a 3-3 record, 7 out of 9 in save opportunities. 0-2 the count. Pearce protects.
Yeah, there's your first fastball of the evening, 86, but he kept it out of the middle of the plate. And 86, after those splitters that are tumbling at 78, probably seems about the mid-90s.
Big crowd tonight for the opener, 37,359, 37,359. Anxious moment, 9th inning. That one is drilled. Will it stay fair? It is. Into the corner. Joseph on his way to 3rd. Throw comes to 2nd. Pearce has got a backpedal, but he comes through, and the Orioles cover the corners in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out.
Yeah, bullet into the corner, and as it turns out, Holt does not hit the cutoff man, and the ball up the zone, but so many Oriole runners have been thrown out, and here's the tumbling splitter. Pearce all over it. Holt gets to it very nicely. Watch him how quickly he gets to it, and that's pretty much what Pierce is reading Caleb Joseph all the way around second. He's going to easily get into third. So now all of a sudden you've got the winning run at the plate.
And Manny Machado, a chance for redemption. Machado 0 for 6 off Uehara. And that is in there for a strike. Manny has had a couple of strikeouts, reached on an error, singled and scored in the ballgame. 2 on and 1 out. Machado was charged with an error that resulted in 3 unearned runs. Up high, almost got away as Hennigan pulled it in.
Now you can see why he's not throwing a lot of fastballs. The velocity down. Again, he missed a lot of spring training. Probably 4 miles per hour normal fastball.
Orioles looking for the big finish. 1-1 delivery. Machado takes it close.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. That ball's right down the middle. And Dana DeMuth calls it a ball. Big break for the Orioles. Watch Koji. He can't believe it.
That's as much of a reaction as you'll ever see out of Uehara.
Well, you know, you make a pitch, you think it's a strike, and it isn't.
Set up outside. Swing and a big rip going for the game winner right there. 2-2.
Yeah, take a look right here, and it is the big swing. But again, it's also a really good splitter with great movement. So easy to swing through. I'm just hoping he gets one up in the zone.
2-2 delivery on the way, and it goes full. So the Orioles battling here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Joseph on at third base. Pierce on at first. A couple of singles. Orioles down by 2.
Well, you're a double away from tying this game.
Here's the 3-2 delivery, and it's popped up. Shortstop Bogarts. He's got it. And there are 2 away. But not done yet. Jimmy Paredes coming up.
Yeah, pops it up and is frustrated. It's got to stop. That's just no reason to do that. Going to get up 600, 700 times a year. Everybody knows you're a good player. David Lowe comes in, great speed now at first.
Lowe running for Pierce at first base. Paredes has delivered a home run 4th inning, his 2nd of the year. He goes after that splitter again and misses it 0-1.
Well, they know he can hit the fastball because he put the Orioles on the board with the home run, number 2 on the year off of Rick Porcello.
2 on, 2 down. Uehara's delivery to him, and another one, swing and a miss, 0-2. Orioles have gone 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. They have stranded 5. 0-2 delivery on the way outside. Wanting him to go after it. And the count 1-2. Boy. Last night so close, within 1. Waiting to the end. Ochoala's ball club again in this one. Coming in down by 3 to the bottom of the 9th. Now down by 2. 1-2 delivery. Paredes swings and misses, and the ball game's over. So Uehara comes on to get his save. He is 3 for 3, and for the Orioles a 5-game losing streak as the Red Sox come away with a 7-5 win in the opener. And game 2 coming up tomorrow night. There's your final line. Wei-Yin Chen will take the mound against Justin Masterson. Game 2 of the 3-game set. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. This has been a MASN presentation. O's Extra, presented by PNC. Jim and Rick standing by. That's coming up right now. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. Adieu.